now recording.
Oh.
Ooh. Fancy.
It's not that fancy. It's just Craig.
Hey! Don't you talk to Craig like that?
We said a lot worse to Craig. Craig is he's used to the abuse.
It's okay, Craig. Just met you. But it's all right. It's going to be okay.
But you tried. Noted that you tried.
I think I remember from last time we had some fun with Craig.
Yeah, he's reformed now. He's
He went to rehab.
fully reformed. Yeah. And meant it. Like, not that celebrity rehab. He actually did the work. We had a whole thing. I guess it's kind of over now, but so at the end of each season, we do like a best of and sort of highlights and things that don't make the final edit. And I think it was a couple of years ago now where our recording bot was like really, it wasn't bad. It would drop out a lot and it would act up, and we called it a diva on a number of occasions. And then, so like the best of, there's just a bunch of clips of us just bad mouthing it. And then last year it started to get better. So the one in December was just basically us going, oh, it's working now. Craig is good.
It's good to know. It took a bit of a TED talk to it, but
yeah, there was actually a point where we were just like, do we need to change this? And then, I don't know, maybe you heard us. Right. I think we are almost ready. Tazziii, am I forgetting anything? We took a recording break, so it's been a while since we've done this, so I might have forgotten something. I'll do the introduction. I'll introduce the guests, so I'll introduce you both, go into some brand updates, and then we'll go into the stories, and then the main story, which is not One Piece. Let me change. I'm not doing that.
Did you actually update the notes?
No. It'd be fun if I just didn't update the notes. This is the first episode of season 6, and I wanted to remind people that over January, let me get my tongue in order. Yeah, I always get that feeling when we have to start a new season of like, is this how we did it before? Hello and welcome to Story X Story, the podcast by my matter that they are blah, blah, blah. Sorry,
Right at the top.
Right at the top. Get out of the way quick. Is it because I changed the intro? I was like, I'm going to change the intro for the season, and muscle memory is taking me back to last season. All right, we're going to do that again. Hello and welcome to Story X Story, the podcast by... Actually, I'm going to do that again. Sorry, I stepped over my own intro. Just wanted to make sure, because I was just editing, so this is for Tazziii mostly. Do I sound any different? I don't know if you can cast your mind back to like the last time we recorded, but does it sound any different, specifically the volume?
I'm going to go with yes, because last time it was noticeably not as good. And I feel like now it's just normal again.
Normal. Okay. All right. I was trying to go for normal. Yeah, I guess we can get into this if everyone's ready.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good to go.
All right. Let me start this recording back up. Over there. Cool. All right. We are ready. So if Craig is ready, and he's always ready, there you go. We can start. So we can go in 3, 2. Hello and welcome to Story X Story, the podcast by Maya Mada that dives deep into stories across pop culture, plus gives you advice on creating your own. It's episode 181, and I'm your co-host, Nigel. And that's the part that Tazziii was supposed to come in on. You still there, Tazziii?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
It just cut out. Discord just like lost all
All right.
audio.
Okay, I'll just start from the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't get any.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll go take 2. And to help us out today, as we say a maybe farewell to Miyazaki, is artist and comic creator Inko. Inko, welcome back to the show. Oh, did we lose Inco?
Do you hear me now?
Ah, there
Oh, brilliant. Sorry.
Okay, all right, I'll do the lead in again and then
Okay.
cool.
Sorry.
How's everyone doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a good. Has it been a good? Yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a good day. Got some stuff done. It's just one of those days where like just different things are happening, and it's like you're just trying to like fight fires, and then you don't realize like if it's been good or bad until the end, where it's like, okay, cool, we did some stuff. We got it sorted out. Yeah, that's a weird explanation of my day, but yeah, that sums it up.
I am fully convinced that video podcasts are a scam.
A scam by who?
By
Spotify, actually.
I don't know. Just who wants to do that to themselves?
I don't mind them. Like I don't mind being in them. I don't mind watching them. Why I asked specifically about video is that even when I've done like all of the Press X Continue stuff we did when we were recording it during lockdown, we still had our cameras on, just because like when you're having a conversation with someone, it's easier to do that when you can see them.
No, I'm all for the audio only. I can stim as much as I want.
And also it uses a lot of the categories of class of racing is all most of my favorite stuff. So they're driving stuff like the GT4s and GT3s, Nissan GTRs. The Le Mans cars was interesting because correct me if I'm wrong, they were not LMP1 cars. They were actually either LMP3s or DPIs, and I wasn't able to tell. And the ironic
if there's one thing I can guarantee in this podcast, I will not be correcting you, Ben. I mean, that sounds right to me.
The moment where his dad came in and finally said he was proud of him, and the fact that even though he didn't have his dad's approval through the whole thing, he still had that little sticker and still like
the card,
yeah, and like carried it with him the entire time. I just loved how, despite his dad's disapproval, he still knew that it was because he loved him, he wanted him to be safe. So he still had that respect for him and that love for him. Because, you know, sometimes when someone's just like not supportive, you can kind of lose that. And I just, because I'm a very family person, and like in the sense of like, you can get annoyed at your family, you can disagree with your family, but that love is always there. And I love how that was portrayed in the movie, because in a way, I feel like it happens too often where families get broken when it's just because they care. And that was relatable to me because growing up, I'm hoping my parents don't hear this, they were very overprotective, and there were points in my life where I was just like angry with them, but it's only because they care. And
I feel that.
It's just really nice having that moment where he then goes, okay, I'm really proud of you, you've done it. I just feel like it was really impactful and relatable to me as well, so I really like that.
But then it was Jan's response to that. Oh my! I was in so much tears
I know, I
at
cried
this point.
so much.
And then Jan was like, "No, I'm proud of you," and I bawled like I was in tears. Like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. That was so beautiful. I need to watch it again. Also, I apologize in advance. I have a really bad headache and been feeling nauseous.
No. Do you get migraines or is it just a headache?
It's just a headache.
Oh, that's miserable. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I think it's just I went up north to visit my friend.
Oh, yeah, it's different.
Week.
Yeah.
It's different, and like so
that's why we stay within the M25.
Yeah. But it meant that I've like ate food that I don't normally eat, and then
haggis.
Oh no, just like regular things, but just food that
I'm sorry, how far north? How far north did you go? All right, so we will go in 3. Wait, is my audio okay? Just making sure I've got the right mic input.
Sounds
good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, we will go in 3, 2. Hello and sorry. The amount of times I've stepped over my own intro is actually it's not even funny. So I've been doing it all day. Not stepping over my own intros, but the coughing thing. All right, we'll do that again. Take two. Second one's always better anyway.
Honestly, I wanna petition for Lidl. They do a vegan hazelnut chocolate spread.
Ooh.
And it doesn't have soya in, and it's so affordable compared to like the other ones.
Hell
But
yeah.
in the UK, they only do it during like certain time periods. So they always do it in January for Veganuary, and then they'll just like sprinkle it across the year.
Yeah.
But in Portugal, it's there all year round. So I'm like, can we have that?
Can we just import it, please?
Like, why does the Portuguese Lidl have it all the time and we don't? I don't agree.
They have more nuts there.
It's way more stable than it used to be then.
Oh yeah, it's like a whole new bear otter thing. Yeah, he listened to all the tapes. He did the journaling and everything. And now
Took
it's
on
like,
some
yeah,
feedback, yeah.
To be fair, he does look like a bear with a microphone, so I hear bears get a lot of heat.
So he's actually because we looked into this because I thought he was a bear. I think he's an otter.
That's not the face of an otter.
Because I'd say bear.
It's 100% a bear, yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to properly like go into this.
I think he needs a name tag.
Yeah, so we do like a non-spoiler things where enjoy or not enjoying could go either way.
I need to get my list up to actually fill these in because their names are so long.
Oh wait, the Italian members, you mean?
No,
Wait,
like
what?
my list of what I've been watching, I need to get it up because the names of the things that I've been watching are like long sentences because I'm just watching like isekais. But they asked me what my favorite one is, and I was like, "That's just impossible." And I was like, "I'm just really into isekais." And she was like, "I don't know what that is." And I was like, "It's basically when you get transported to another world, like that's what an isekai is." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "So you must have a favorite one of those." I'm like, "I watch about like 5 a week." One of the anime that I'm watching at the moment is called Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside.
Amazing. Already.
Honestly, it's great.
As you were saying them, I was writing them down, and then you got to that one, I was like, my fingers physically cannot.
Yeah,
so long. You're like, wait, what was that? Yeah, just,
There's a sentence.
Can you say it word by word very slowly? Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was like fun, but like, how do I explain it? It was like, oh my god, my mind's just gone blank. One Piece is life.
Yeah, I still need to get on it.
Yeah.
Apparently, are you talking about? Because I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about the original as opposed to live action. But I've heard the live action was pretty good.
I'm actually just talking about One Piece as a
lifestyle.
Oh.
So today we have with us Vic DeLuca, a comic creator. Last time we had Vic on the podcast was for our episode on Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which was episode number 139. Welcome back. Oh, you're muted.
The mute button comes for everyone.
Self-sabotage.
I was actually super out of it. What other movies? These were the Oscars, were they?
Yeah, I actually missed it. I'm usually like aware of it. I completely missed it.
Godzilla, like completely. Godzilla won something.
Yeah, special effects.
Big. Oh yeah.
Oh, we're talking about -1.
Yeah, -1.
Oh, that's included in this. I thought it was too late to be included in there.
It came out last year, right?
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, he had to win something. Like it's such a great movie.
It's really good. Yeah.
And have you seen Shin Godzilla?
No.
So
never heard of
it's
that.
the same director. So Shin was done by -1 was done by the co-director of Shin Godzilla. Because Shin Godzilla was Anno, which is the guy from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and then he went off and did like a prequel, right? Like a like a prequel Godzilla movie, which is unheard of in terms of Japanese culture, because like Godzilla is such a precious thing. And Shin Godzilla, it's like the Oppenheimer of Godzilla. Yeah, I strongly rate that movie. Yeah, it feels very kind of, there is like a very important pathos around it. It's like as if this event is really happening.
Right.
Very realistic way of like how would everyone react.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it deals with that whole like bureaucracy problems, like how many gates of laws and pride has to go through before we actually do something about the big monster destroying Japan. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I used to be a reporter, so
Oh yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah, like one time I had like recorded it, but like the audio was completely distorted, so I had to like go back out and redo it and have them like restate they were doing, and it was the worst. And I was like, never again.
Yeah,
always check while on site to make sure that everything is recorded.
Yeah.
Like,
That's that's the worst. And you pretend like it's the first time you heard it. I mean, actually, I did recently. In fact, I think it was this year when we were doing our Do I Look Like a Gamer campaign. We are doing some like on-site recording at a games event, and the first one I did, I didn't. So I actually have done it more recently. I didn't record. That was less stress, less pressure. But yeah, we talked like it was only like 5-6 minutes, and then I realized, I had not pressed record on this camera.
oh my gosh, yeah, that has happened to me. Like you like press it and then you like think that it's going, but then you like look and then it's this creeping feeling of looking and you're like, why is the red button not there?
That was exactly it. It's like, wait, I'm sure it usually flashes red when I do this. Give us a sales pitch.
So Asta and Lola are childhood friends. Their friendship is tested when after Asta befriends Mallory, a young girl who shares her love of Cape Crusaders. She suggests they play out their fantasies. However, Mallory's aspect. Yeah, why can't I talk?
Yeah, it's something about the podcast. It happens to us too.
Cool card game. Everyone should just check it out. And
can I plug that on Twitter? It's a collector. What? Creator Clash CCG on Twitter.
Awesome. We'll add some links to the show notes.
So with the round table, we essentially like two halves, or I guess I don't know if it's exactly half and half, but the first part is our like what games we're playing, which I will update a list. So if you go to in the notes, you can add your list if you've got one already. Essentially, just a non-spoiler talk about games you're playing. So Tazziii leads that segment. And then we go into the news segment, which is a selection of news stories that we picked out. But the idea is we try and just get everyone's thoughts on these things. Typically, we go with like a main news story, which like, I don't know, whatever the sort of biggest one is. I put in the Xbox kind of. Well, it's kind of, we'll get into it, but yeah, the Xbox, like letting the first party games on other systems and everything that happened around that. And then generally try and cover at least Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and then depending on time, any other like third party or random stuff. So we'll definitely do Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, see what we've got time for, and then we'll get into it.
4 games that I am sort of somewhat consistently playing. So I've been playing Lies of P again, making my way through that, which is a lot of fun. It's like a Souls-like game, but based around the story of Pinocchio. Like, not based around the story, but inspired by the story of Pinocchio, I would say.
Beautiful game, but it's very, very difficult.
You know what? I don't think it's that difficult. I think for a Souls-like, it is not that hard. For a Souls-like.
Wow.
Basically, what it is, I just gotta get good. That is what you have said. I just gotta get good. I understand.
Do I look like a gamer? No, I do not.
what does a gamer look like? That's
why it's important that you're failing.
Exactly.
So that people know that you're there.
So, you quite rightly talked about, the pipeline of the future and inspiring young people and so on. Well, those young people are not going to settle for a role and a job in an organisation that shuns diversity or doesn't prioritize diversity and inclusion. And even if you're
these Gen Z is all into values and stuff. It's
quite right, and why should we, the older generation, kind of hold that evolution back?
Yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a spoiler-free discussion about what everyone's been playing and who is everyone. So our guest today, my voice went a bit funny there. Sorry.
Too early to that. Got a lot to talk about still.
I know. What is wrong?
Yeah, so I've actually just been watching the story of the Olympics. As we've been talking, I've been watching the women's 800-meter final, and Britain got another gold medal. So there's a whole drama in that, the good kind of drama. But in terms of more scripted, I actually haven't played Fallout
at all.
Actually, I don't know if that's true. I haven't played much Fallout. Okay, I don't know if it's completely true, but I haven't played much Fallout, which is surprising because it's kind of my type of game. But I know like the general premise and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I was keen to see with this is because what I know of Fallout is that there's not, or actually, we'll see if I know that, there's not necessarily a main character. And because it's an open world game, it's kind of like make your own adventure kind of thing. So with those ones versus something like The Last of Us, where it's very much a scripted story, I was wondering how they would do that. And I feel they've taken different areas in the game and kind of pulled them together through the characters that represent different areas. And I'm liking how you have to be patient, because I noticed from the first couple episodes, and they're long episodes, where it's basically like setting this thing up over here, setting this thing up over here, and now we're going to blend them together and let the chaos ensue.
That's an interesting way to do that, yeah.
A perfect kind of story that I like. I Fallout, I've played some of it, I've watched a lot of people play it, and everyone plays it differently, right? But what I really like about Fallout is like there's a lot of lore around it.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah.
And so you can make so much story because there's just all these bits of lore that you can make stories out of. So even though you might not have like a main protagonist because it's whoever you make, there is loads of things that you can find that make up like a story. Like I remember playing one of them and like being really invested in this one like story that you could find through like side quests and piece together through like side quests and bits of paper or whatever you find. And you could like make up this story, and I was like really invested in it. I'm like, this has nothing to do with anything that I need to be doing to actually progress in this game.
Yeah.
So I think that's the fascinating thing about Fallout.
I just think it's, I can't remember who mentioned it before, but it was very much like there are wow, words are difficult, sense within themselves, and everything feels home, not safe, but it all feels in the correct place all the time, if that makes sense. It might not.
No, I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah, my part is kind of what isekais has Tazziii been watching this week. Welcome back to this episode of the longest names in anime ever. So I'm just gonna run over them. So I watched the whole of The Weakest Tamer Began a Journey to Pick Up Trash.
Sorry, is that the whole title?
Yes, that's the whole title.
Could you run that by me again?
Sword Art Online?
Yes, that was on, when people give you like an anime list to watch and they go, oh, go watch this, you'll love it. And I watch it and I go, I don't think we can be friends anymore.
See, I loved that when I first watched it. It gets really bad in the middle.
It's so bad.
Recent season was actually Okay. But it did introduce me to the world of isekais.
Not good. Not crucially, it was okay. Not good. Is that what you're saying?
Another isekai, Quality Assurance in Another World. So I think I've got one more episode, but it's not out yet. That is someone getting trapped in a video game. But it's just about, it's about this person who's a quality assurance for this VR game or this immersive game. And they get trapped in it, but they're so committed to their job.
Oh, that's good. I like that's very meta. I enjoy that. That's fun.
Yeah, and
That's
like
cool.
it's just that like he ends up journeying with an NPC, and like it's so funny because he's just so committed to the job, and everyone else that also got trapped is like, dude, like. What's your deal? Like we're here, get over it. Like, why are you still doing your job? It's so funny. Like I watched it again as like a trash binge just while I was working, and ended up just actually watching it. I think again it goes back to they're telling that story that like they're telling this story. This is the story we're telling. This is how much time it's going to take to tell it. This is the runtime it's going to take to tell it in. This is the story. And I think there's so much power in that. Like I obviously appreciate when something is collaborative as well. But yeah, there's beauty in that. And I'm just like, I've just got like a list of movies up, and I'm like, even when the main protagonist isn't a woman or a girl, it's like they have such a strong influence on the story.
Yeah, Princess Mononoke is always the one that comes to my mind in that. But yeah, there's others as well, and here we get female protagonist, female antagonist, and not just that, but then the idea of princesses, because these aren't your princesses in another castle princess. These are like active.
I've been slacking since last episode. I've been in Leeds for a week, so not as much time to watch things. But I did watch Avatar: The Last Airbender live action ahead of our panel on Sunday.
The series, not the film, just to clarify, because there's people screaming "no" as they listen.
Do you know what? I haven't gone to watching the live action yet.
Just to double check, Tazziii, you meant the live action series on Netflix.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a film.
That one.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a film and it's terrible.
I swear, every time I open like a Google document, there's something new.
As in like a new feature?
Yeah.
They got to keep up with Notion.
Yeah, but it's always an AI feature. I love AI, but I'm so over AI. We don't need it for everything.
Yes, we do, Tazziii. We need it. The shareholders demand we put it in everything. Everything but Craig, which I'm still waiting for. The Craig AI.
When Craig gets AI, it's taken over the world.
Cool.
Just know, Craig, we've supported you this whole time.
Yeah, we never ever doubted you.
Even through your rough patch, we stuck to it.
Not a single moment of doubt. We're never going to replace you, Craig. So, speaking of... No, wait, actually, I'm not... That's a terrible segue. That wasn't going to work anyway. We're not recording yet, are we? Craig, forget that.
Wipe the record.
And yeah, it's really about your journey. So how you got started, challenges, lessons along the way. Obviously, like talking about your books and the series, the world that you're building. So the way we kind of do it, like one person will take the lead and then the other might chime in. So I'll intro everyone. Well, I'll intro you. I'll intro the episode. Have a few minutes of like, I'll do brand updates, stuff we're working on. Then we'll get into the interview. Questions, blah, 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 you know the thing.
I hope it's okay that I'm not as established as Joe or Lara might be. I'm still a bit of a newbie-ish. But
No, that's fine.
Okay, thanks. Because I was a bit nervous.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, we try and sort of speak to people at all types of levels. So the idea for us is like to get a picture of... So actually, I should probably give some background to ourselves as well. So I'm the co-founder of Maya Mada and Tazzii's creative director. So I write comics, and that's how we started the brand. But then since then, done like other things, like we do events, and we work a lot with young people. So like do workshops and things like that. So yeah, just meet a lot of like sort of people at either school, college, university, or like just events, things like that, and meet a lot of people who might want to do something that you are doing now. So we speak to people who make comics, we speak to people who work in video games, we speak to film and TV, animation as well. And the idea is to demystify some of the creative industries and talk to people at different stages of the journey. So whether it's like just started or like established or somewhere in between. So yeah, it's just about like building that picture.
Okay, thanks.
Cool.
It sounds really cool, by the way.
But yeah, I guess Tazziii, when you're ready, we can jump into it.
Awesome.
Okay. Wait, was that yes? Or was that?
Yeah.
Okay, go. Wasn't sure if that was like a yes, let's go, or yes, I acknowledge the words you have. Cool.
Lucia is also known as the nerd violinist, an Italian artist based in London, growing up in oh my god, this is what I'm talking about. I can't even say words.
It's the English words that get you.
So me writing my first book ever, amazing accomplishment. Me then pursuing it for like 10 years to try and get this dream to come true. That's another win. Getting an agent, another win. Like there's so many stepping stones that I now learn to celebrate the smaller wins and not just the big ones. Of course, the big book deal was fantastic and I cried, but there was so many little accomplishments that I'd done, which was just fantastic.
You know, it's very much expected that you're going to go through traditional channels and kind of be like a more standardized career, right? So like the doctor, lawyer, business professional kind of route. And so I think they were trying to steer me that way. And then I think I got to my teens and they were like, oh, no, you're just not going to do it. And so my mom was actually the first kind of person in my family to really get behind me and understand that, like, I wanted to be a creative for a living. And she was really great. She had, no idea how games worked really, or what they were, or, kind of who could break into it. But she tried to get me into animation, into programming classes, into things that, would readily pop out as like, oh, okay, this is how she can do this, and really be supportive that way. And at the time I was kind of like, Mom, that's not what I want to do. But looking back at it, I'm really grateful that, she didn't understand everything, but she did her level best. I'm going to go ahead and make a deck of what I see the issues are, what our opportunities are for like kind of changing that vision, and how to work together better. And I guess I kind of like did like a bit of creative direction and a bit of graphic design and a bit of production. So yeah, kind of taught me to take things on and like try and be proactive and be solutions oriented instead of just like floundering, I suppose. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, definitely.
You're literally doing our onboarding for our work experience. This whole thing is just going to be like played back.
Nice.
In order for you guys to want to push diversity when it should be diversity all year round, not just during Black History Month, both in America and the US. It should be America and the UK. I would love to do like a manga someday. I don't know how you do like comic books. Like I would love to, but it's so hard. I feel like writing a comic book is 10 times harder than writing a novel.
I would have said the other way.
Because you have less
I don't
words.
do drawings. That's true.
No, but the scripts, like I've tried writing short scripts before and stuff, like just dabbled in it, but it's so hard. Like you have to condense, like you have to portray a big story plot in just like speech. Like that's hard. I don't know how you do it.
Never thought that. I genuinely haven't. I'm not sure because I don't have the comparison. It's just like the thing we started doing. I know it makes sense. I feel a lot of it is like our artists are really good at because it is visual, right? So we've got that advantage of you don't need a lot of words when you've got the visuals to support it. And our artist Penali is really good at taking my words and putting them into like meaningful kind of emotive visuals that carry the story forward. So it's
But you still have to condense that into like speech and embody a character with but like writers, we can just ramble on and like fill the world, you know? You can't do that. You've got
no, you got
and then you've
like
got
short,
speech.
sharp, and keep going.
Yeah, like
that's a
I
good point.
really envy you for being able to like write a comic. Like I wish I had that capacity to like cut down my words like that much and still like portray a beautiful story, and it's hard, man. So you're really
thanks.
sick at that.
I'm gonna have to distill that. How do I do that? Write a book about it sometime.
You're both impressive to me.
Yeah, high five. Yeah, we're both.
Right, sweet. Either or. Like, how do you write any kind of book?
Now let's go behind. Oh, that is the wrong. That's the wrong lead-in. Now let's get. I've totally thrown myself off. That's what happens. Self-sabotage.
Nigel, you can take a breath now. That was a long spiel you just did.
You have no sympathy from me because normally you do it to me.
I've always had an interest in art, and I think it comes from I was a very shy child, and I was a very small child, so a lot of my friends I'd kind of be like mothered in school. I was that kind of kid, whereas I'll just sit in the corner and draw, and I wasn't very good at other things. I wasn't very good at maths, or I think I was okay at other subjects, but it was mainly things like maths and English. I didn't realise I was dyslexic at the time, so I was like, oh, that. And when I found that out, I was like, oh, that explains a lot. So I think it was just art was like one of the things I was good at, and that made me feel good. And it also just got a lot of stresses and worries out because I was quite a sick child. Like I would be in and out of hospital a lot, so it was another thing to help me cope with that as well. So a lot
like
of
an expressive thing.
Yeah, and also just to get like, because I was so shy, I was like the type that would not want to bother people. So I would usually just draw out a lot of my feelings, and it was like a bit art therapy really. So it started off more like art therapy, but my main interest that really sort of got me into thinking it could be a career was shows like the Powerpuff Girls and The Simpsons. So, but more so, I'd say more so the Powerpuff Girls, because that was like my first introduction to just cartoons, really, like it being a massive inspiration. Like I did a whole art project, you know, when you make, I don't know if they still do it, but the egg competitions, like primary school, where they get you to make like a themed egg. I did it on the Powerpuff Girls. And I did like the city of Townsville out of like a cereal box, and like each egg was like one of the girls.
Was it like Bubbles? I know this isn't the most important thing, but I'm now trying to remember the names of the Powerpuff Girls. I remember one of them was Bubbles.
Yeah, Bubbles is right. Yeah,
the blue one. Buttercup. Yeah.
Buttercup, Blossom.
Blossom. That's it. Cool. All right.
Yeah, all bees. When you stumbled at the start, I was like, I was a bit like, oh, okay, someone else is not.
Oh yeah, that was all for your benefit purely.
Oh, thank you. Made me feel so.
As all our bloopers are.
You should see our
Oh yeah, the end of.
I can't even.
End of year. Yeah, if you like bloopers, basically we put together all the. So, because we record throughout the year, so at the end of the year, we put together an episode which is like the best of and bloopers. And it was funny because when I was editing it, like in December, before I started, I was like, "Do we have enough for this?" It was like a 3-hour edit later. I was like, "Yep, we still make a lot of bloopers."
Yeah.
Maybe it's a sign of being more authentic. That's how I'm going to take it. Because it's like not as polished and. Yeah,
exactly.
But I do think this sounds like your podcast is like proper profesh, so I think it's really cool.
The bloopers episode will make you doubt that, but we are.
I mean, bloopers, even big films like Hollywood actors have a lot of blooper reels.
Bloopers reels, yeah, that's true. Okay, so yeah, we are professional. We are Hollywood standard in that case. Right. I was going to say, yeah, because you have been on, but I guess for an interview. So the deep dives are slightly different. So we do I'll intro you, and then do some updates for my matter, and then we have our non-spoiler section where we talk about stories that we are enjoying or not, and then we go into the main story discussion. So generally we try and cover like sort of narrative, character, themes, different points. We might not get to everything. We never really do, but just like to put in more than we need. And then I'll just like try and guide us through it. And then we'll just talk about the story. Oh, and then at the end, characters, themes. Oh, and then at the end I do like it was effectively like a monologue now. It's like 5-minute monologue on some kind of storytelling tip. And then we asked you about what you're up to. And then that is it. That's the episode. Tazziii, you ready? You got the long... Oh, wait, that's actually one. So I just read one of these names and it's like, it's actually one. Okay. That's a long title.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ones on there. They're just 2 of them are sentences for names.
Yeah. When I saw there's at least 8 in there.
But then I guess it was different with Tamada because of like how they saw him.
Yeah. I guess so. It's well. I don't want to. I'm trying to keep all the juice in the carton right now. So that it's like the real reaction.
It's good to have like little things. Don't make them so obvious because they don't need to be, like it's not like a big majority of your personality in like, how am I saying this? Like, let me word this correctly.
I feel a bit of a weird place, like financially, but also culturally, and some of the backlash to things that they're doing, rightly or wrongly. But a couple of quotes that stuck out to me. I'll read them and then see what you both think. So first one is from Richard Lawson. I got this from Vanity Fair, who says that Casarosa has explicitly said that the film is not a queer story. It is an platonic and determinedly tongue not working. Let's take that from the top.
My favourite kind of like interaction with the exes was with Roxy, right? Because what happened? Oh yeah, Todd just can we swear on here?
Oh, the podcast. Oh, family show. We'll bleep it out afterwards.
Oh, if you bleep it out, I'll say it. I need at least be cathartic. So yeah, Todd just kicked him, right? So he's in a bad mood.
Oh, and then no swearing. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I read that. I am someone who swears all the time, so that's good to know.
Yeah, unless it's in Italian, then who knows, right?
No. Better not, because the Italian ones are even worse than the English ones. So yeah.
Okay, I was in Malta for the Malta Comic Con, and there's like a lot of like Italian. Actually, I think this guy was Spanish. Yeah, no, he was Spanish, and he was just going through like the Spanish swear words.
Oh my god, they also have a very good range.
I worked with an Italian chef once.
Oh no, those are the worst.
I feel like he was constantly swearing in Italian. Yes. And for a good while, the only words I knew in Italian were all like really horrible swear words.
This is quite funny. I thought I'd get into the mood of this whole like Italian Luca. So I've actually got Italiamo, which is pistachios with milk chocolate. And I was like, yeah, that's cool as hell. And then there's another Italiamo. Ooh, Fior di Cacao. It's shortcake biscuit with dark chocolate. But they're all like from the Italian section in Lidl.
Oh my god, I can't eat nearly all of it, but I love seeing the Italian section in Lidl. I'm like,
well, for me, it's gluten intolerance. I can't have I can't have cake or biscuits, so I'm just like looking at them like, I'll eat it, and then I'll just big regret later.
But it's worth it. Today, we're going to be talking about Luca, the 2021 animated film produced by Walt Disney and Pixar. The film was directed by Enrico Casarosa and written by Jesse Andrews and Mike Jones. It stars the voice of Jacob Tremblay, Jack Dylan Grazer, Emma Berman, Maya. How can I get Maya wrong?
And then you've got Sacha Baron Cohen, who comes from like the deep sea waters. So it does so even the subtleties of who they have hired to voice adds into that. So even though their dialogue, which is like really, really funny as well, the subtleties in accent. So that kind of like paints like a picture for your ears, like a harmony. Of,
a picture for your ears. I like that. So I realized as I was putting the notes together, and we got our guest confirmed that we're talking about the wrong story. We should be talking about Coco. I feel like we missed the trick.
Oh my god! Yeah,
That's the trick. I don't know how.
Get me into that as well.
Wait, is Coco on the schedule?
It's not, but I'm not beneath putting it on the schedule just so we can get Coco for Coco.
Yeah, do it.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
All right, let me work that out.
I really enjoyed that, and I think there was great performances as well from the leads, and a very, very attractive cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of good-looking people, good-looking black people in this.
Very attractive cast. Just to drive that point home. Yeah.
Like I find myself watching it, and I'm just like, damn, these people are hot. Which, you know, you're supposed to have that in a rom-com. Rom-coms are supposed to be really pretty people.
Yes.
So.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, these are really, really pretty people. So.
Really pretty people. Yeah.
I don't get Eric, like as in that guy. I've seen that guy, and I don't get that guy. I don't get what the appeal is, other than the shoulders that Yaz does point out. But I don't get how that guy. I just don't get that guy. I don't know what you felt about him, but
as in you don't get the character, you don't get the actor.
No, the actor's fine. The performance is fine. It's just that because allow me to paraphrase Yaz, but just how does Gia go from Dom to Eric? I'm like, huh?
Yeah, that is a good question. I often because that guy exists. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like that guy. Like,
and that is a question.
Apologies to that guy if you're listening, but you know who you are.
Yeah. I was like journaling the other day, and like I've got like a balcony, and then there's like quite a lot of trees and stuff out the back. And they just came and sat on my balcony and watched me while I was journaling. And they keep just coming to my balcony and like sitting on my balcony and just watching me. It's just like this pair of pigeons, and like they both have really unique patterns as well. So it's just like it's really unusual.
You've been feeding them or anything?
No,
yeah,
literally nothing. They just come and watch me. I'm like, hi.
They might be like in a Miyazaki movie or something.
Yeah,
they're people, really.
Pigeons with character.
Little spirit guides.
I think we've just about got everything. Is everyone ready?
Yep. Sure.
There we go.
Everyone
I think
except
I've muted it now.
Tazzie's.
Okay, good. Oh, okay, I've muted the tab now. There were multiple Nigels for a second.
Oh yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. Yeah, I work best in singular. So.
And like rewatching it is even better because you notice other things. So it's like you see like the robot and stuff. Because at first you're kind of just like, oh, like the robot kind of thing. But just rewatching it, you notice the robot so much, and then you're like, I know what that robot's doing. It's not just a random robot anymore. And it's like it was done so well of all the like little subtle things that they put in it. It was just really, really good. So like, yeah, that gripped me a lot when Old Scott came back, and I was like, oh, this makes sense now. I love this.
I feel that, and like Tazziii, we talked about time mechanics on the show. I don't know how this ranks in the time mechanic league table that we've got going on. But yeah, what did you think the time mechanic like added to the story? And again, seeing like older versions of Scott.
Yeah, like because I wasn't expecting a time mechanic. I mean, I didn't have any expectations, but it definitely wasn't a time mechanic. And so I was pleasantly surprised, and I thought it was a very good time mechanic. I think it's
nice and simple.
Yeah, it's nice and simple. I think it ranks quite highly, and I think it's just very fun. Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Oh, ooh, should we switch to Des while Tazziii? That might be a guest. Okay, well, yeah, Des, let us know what you thought of seeing like older Scott?
Yeah, I thought the time mechanic was awesome. The entrance to his cave is a Game Boy. The code to get in is a Hadouken, and then you've got the Virtua Boy, the thing they go in, and then you've got like young Scott making a reference to like everything's red. Like it's just like you said, Nigel, it's just a trust. Like you don't get something this cohesive if the execs don't trust what you're doing.
Tazziii, do you want to finish that thought about the time mechanic?
I cannot remember what I was like in the flow of saying. Probably not ones that you all see, because it's sort of like the content I consume, but that talk about how it's kind of like the stereotypical thing of like after a breakup, men just go to the gym rather than like going to therapy.
I saw that. I thought it was great.
and I feel like Scott Pilgrim is like just the epitome of that. Like older Scott Pilgrim is the epitome of that. Like he just went gym and didn't actually work through the issues.
You get the same thing. You still have to go through the evil X's, but just on a more kind of thoughtful, introspective approach. So you've got the Ramona inspecting. Yeah, inspecting. Is that a word I'm looking for? I'm going to change that. You've got Ramona confronting each of the X's.
Sorry about the like mid-recording fire alarm.
Yeah, how did you... Wait, did you say like, not literal fire alarm?
No, yeah, literal fire alarm. Did you not hear the fire alarm in the background?
No.
Wow.
I heard a beep, and then an O, and then a no Tazziii. That's all I heard, and I was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." Didn't realize it was a fire alarm.
Oh, Ghetto Wave 3 really, not really blocking out that sounds. It's so funny. So I went to a day rave yesterday, and I sprayed myself with like a shimmery like oil spray thing.
Yeah.
But now my bathroom floor is like covered in it. It's just sparkly.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it's so hard to clean it up. Like I need to do like I've got one of those like mops where it's this like it sprays and it's like in the mop kind of thing.
Yeah, we've got one. It's like a microfiber towel bottom and then like a soap and water.
Yeah, one of those. And like, so I've done it with that, and that's just not cutting it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get the proper mop bucket out and hot soapy water to get rid of that.
I was gonna say if it's oily, you want like lots of soap, lots and lots and lots of soap. It's like the one thing I remember from school is that like soap breaks down oil and like makes it collect together.
Yeah. Oh, that was gonna be fun, but I just can't be bothered. I can't bother to do that. I will at some point. Definitely, yeah. I think it really does. Because there's a lot of like what is that word again?
Existential?
Yeah. There's a lot of like existential.
And that was from a immigrant director perspective, and you can feel that in the way some elements of the did it again. So some elements of the story were told in Elemental. Today, we are going to talk about Kubo and the Two Strings, the 2016 stop-motion film produced by Laika. It is directed by Travis Knight in his feature-length debut, with a screenplay by Mark Hames and Chris Butler, and stars the voice. I don't know what's happened to my voice today.
Those who are not into film are gonna be like, I'll try it, or I'll go see it with my family, or da da da.
Yeah.
I feel like, versus like us, we're like, oh my god, we have to watch it. It looks so cool.
Especially if they like, oh my god, that thought just literally exited my mind as I was saying it.
So I got a new internet service provider. So Virgin Media installed that, but I don't know if like they need to warm that up, or the guy said they need to. What do you say? Like apply settings or whatever. It takes up to a week because it's okay. I'm on whatever plan Sky put me on, but when I said I'm leaving, so it's not as fast as it should be. So I'm wondering if it's actually worth switching to my phone as a hotspot. Let me just try
really random, but just try running a speed test.
Yeah, I did that earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember you because I remember you saying that. So I was like, let me do it. But the results weren't good, and it didn't change. So I did it a couple times.
That's my little. I don't know what it is, but every time I run a speed test, my internet suddenly improves. It's like they don't want the negative stats.
Also played, we're hopping over to the Nintendo Switch, played Mario Wonder, which started that. It's a Mario game. I feel they don't miss, like, Nintendo know how to make games. Has anyone played this game, actually?
I have.
No, I haven't yet.
I played the demo.
I have. It's great. It's fun.
Oh, I need to play it.
It's definitely a game that you do want to play with people, but it can get chaotic when there's a lot of people at the same time. Especially because they've got like a feature where whoever's got the most coins, the camera follows you. So everyone else is kind of at your whim.
I have dropped off. Wait, am I back?
Kind of. You sound a bit distorted to me.
Okay. All right.
And there seems to be a delay because that reaction was very slow. Yeah, and I love the idea of like service games that are online, but I want to like explore the content on at my own pace and not have to be there at a certain point in time. Like these games are just not made for the people that have the money to buy them.
Literally,
we don't have the time. Yeah, I don't know if we've got Nigel back yet. I'm guessing not.
I think the one analogy that I've always seen that I'd never not agree with is game, like when you're talking about DLC and stuff like that. Like games back in the day was like having a full cheeseburger, have the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now, and then DLC was like extra sauces. Whereas now, the game is the patty. The DLC is the lettuce, the buns, whatever else is going inside the burger alone. That is the DLC. That is, you don't get a complete package anymore. You get the meat.
That's so true.
Add to it. That's what a lot of the games are now compared to what they used to be.
Came in on burgers.
Yeah, I feel like it's not even the meat. I feel like it's the bun that we get.
Yeah, even more so the bun. You get the dry bun. You're like, all right, cool, it works, but it's not it. And then eventually they start filling it out, and suddenly it's a full game.
So yesterday I got because I hardly ate. Well, since I got off the plane, had some takeaway at like a local. Just thought I'd get a burger, simple. Okay, it was okay, but it wasn't. You know when you just like you're left unsatisfied.
Yeah.
So I had to do all right, let me just go to the brand name. Just, globalization. Let me just find Burger King because I know what that's like. And I'll be happy. So I just had to like address that and go get Burger King.
I love that for you. You're just like, let me just eat right now.
Yeah, because I couldn't let that be the last burger. So I've discovered that cold Burger King chips don't work, but cold nuggets can work, sort of.
Don't work.
No, they don't.
You just turn them off and on again, mate. Like.
Yeah, no, just turn them off. That definitely has shelf life.
Okay.
I think all fast food
agreed
chips are like that. Chip shop chips you can do.
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
Fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
Like
Immortal food.
But the like fast food ones, they're
no.
You can skip them.
No.
Yeah, that's. I've learned that now. I didn't.
You can try putting them in an air fryer if you have an air fryer. Because
I'm in a box. This Airbnb does not have those kind of like facilities. So, yeah.
Okay.
We've got what we've got.
No, I got you. I didn't realize you're in a hotel. I think for some reason my brain was like,
not Airbnb. I'm in a hotel on Wednesday, so I've got to move to Dusseldorf.
Oh,
Which
nice.
will be fun. So yeah. Anyway, I'll finish snacking. This will be our single day event to introduce young and aspiring game start that again. I think that chicken nugget has messed me up. I have a level of concern, and I'm going to tell you my concern. It'd be interesting to get both your thoughts. So we just finished our Kickstarter for our latest manga, and as part of that process over the past year, we've been able to incorporate like the voices, the thoughts, and the artwork of young people, and particularly the cover. So for those that have seen the cover, that was done, or at least designed by a work placement student through an organization called Next Gen. So we got to work with them, and shout out to Alex, did an amazing job. Design the cover, which our illustrator Penali did the final version of, and that's what goes on the Kickstarter. That's what will be in print. So that process was people, humans, getting together, thinking of ideas, coming up with like variations, checking with, because the book is about Tazziii, checking with Tazziii, getting Tazzii's thoughts. There's a kind of, human team effort. So my concern is we're now in a place where these tools, as they are today, let alone where they'll be a year, 2 years, and so on, I could have, thinking of me as the generic business owner, I could have just put something into Midjourney, into Dali, and not paid a work placement student to come in and do something, and got
secret invasion.
yeah, Marvel, yeah. And I could have done that, and I feel like that's happening, Marvel, and will continue to happen. And my fear is that there is a whole generation of young people, not just in illustration, but I feel that's the one like at the top of the at-risk pile, who are learning things, and I don't even like to say this, but are learning things that might be redundant in a short while. What should like young people be learning? What should yourself as like a lecturer, Tom, be teaching? Like what do we need to know for the future of industries that I feel whether you like it or not are going to be impacted in some way by AI? Like what are the skills that need to be taught and learned at this stage?
The advice that my mom gave me when I first started kind of like working, and especially when I like got my first big girl job out of college, was write everything down, which struck me as very much like, that's kind of silly. Like, what do you mean? I don't need to write things down. I can remember it. No, I can't. There's always a million details running around. Yeah, no. She was like, write it down, get it in email, and make sure that like you reiterate things with people. And for a while, I thought like, definitely not, but especially as I started to run, when I was working as a community manager, there were so many projects and there were so many different like threads and clients and asks and balancing how to treat creatives versus how to treat clients and meetings and presentations. And I really started to get overwhelmed and feel bogged down. And at some point, I just kind of, went down to the Dwayne Reed down the street, picked up a notebook and a pen, and I started writing things down. I was like, oh, this is what she was talking about. This makes me feel like my brain's not going to explode.
And Thursday's episode is discussing AI and its impact on creative industries, or creative, as Nigel has written in the notes.
I did promise some kind of sabotage.
You did. So let's meet our guests and go into today's deep dive.
Can I be honest and say like the I and the O are way too close together on the keyboard? I've always felt that. I've always felt that. It's just feel now's the time to make my feelings known.
It's been there for a while, so I feel like should have figured that one out by now.
Okay, so because obviously, Shay, you've been on this before, but not on I don't think you've been on a deep dive episode.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
no.
There you go. You completed the hat trick. Have you done an interview? You've done a round table.
Yes.
You've done a live stream.
Yes.
And then now deep dive. We'll call that a hat trick.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness. It's like the games industry EGOT. I love it.
Yeah. The My Meta Story X Stories something. I don't know. We'll come up with a catchy name another time.
Yeah, I never get the people like talk about like things from the past they're like embarrassed about, whether it's something they created or like a photo of themselves or stuff. I'm like,
yep.
I don't really get that.
Like old outfits or anything.
Yeah, no,
That's one thing.
because I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see anything to be embarrassed about.
I figure
I don't
people do it
know.
because like they view it with today's eyes, so they go, "Oh, I would never wear that," and that. I don't know. I'm trying to
I
get in the
don't
mind
know.
of someone.
Yeah, I just always think, oh, cool. Or like if there's like, because a lot of creators like cringe at their old content, right? I look at my old content. Actually, to be fair, most of my old content, I'm like, she's way better a content creator than I am.
That's interesting.
Put the effort in, put the work in. Like that version of me was on it. But like, yeah, I don't ever look back, even if like there's things that I'm like, yeah, there's bits it could have improved on, but I think I done like an amazing piece of content for that time. So I
mean,
don't.
that's
I don't
good. The
feel
content
cringe
one's the
about
only
it.
one that I can relate to. There's nothing I've been embarrassed. It's just I could do a lot better now. It's just acknowledgement.
I feel like the one thing is like my voice and like how I speak.
As in you.
When I look back at older stuff, like negative, but then that's like I was a teenager and used like slang that was cringy regardless.
Oh, you mean like just vocabulary, not even tone?
Bit of all of it.
Oh, okay.
And like not. I mean, sometimes even stuff that I look back at now, like if I'm like really tired, I'll like really mumble in something, or like I just won't be very eloquent, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cringe. I think that's about it. I think I'd be inhuman if I didn't have anything.
I feel nothing.
Sort of do the flip side of it.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the misconceptions that players have Why could I not say that sentence properly? Let me start again. So, talking about the flip side of it, what are some of the misconceptions players often have about the game making process?
Oh boy, how long do you have? So yeah,
the extended cut.
Yeah, truly.
Gamescom have also done that. Is that's something. Have you been to that before?
No, and as a cosplayer, I've heard the most amazing things about the cosplay village. So I'm like, I want to go.
Yeah, that's another level. That is it's massive, like just absolutely massive. I don't know, because I went for the first time I only went for a day, which is just not enough at all. And then the second time I went for 2 days because I can only manage 2 days in terms of like scheduling and stuff. But I mean 2 days isn't enough. Depends what you want to do, but it's absolutely massive. Basically, just can't stress that enough. It's great.
I've heard it's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's just a lot. So prepare for that. For today, we're doing a retrospective on Fallout, the TV series. So that is the 2024 post-apocalyptic drama series created that doesn't make sense. Let me try that again. All right, so I will continue as if it was all seamless and talk about characters.
Now I just want cinema snacks. Nachos and
nachos and that amazing cheese they just do at cinemas but nowhere else.
See, I can't have that cheese.
Oh really? Oh, bless you.
I can't have cheese full stop though.
Oh, right, okay.
But like the jalapenos and the salsa.
I almost feel like I can smell popcorn.
No.
They're real.
I was going to say same, but I can actually smell popcorn because
I just need to give a shout out to Maximus and his facial expressions.
Yeah.
I had to go and look up just to see that the actor Aaron Moulton does smile. His face. It looks like someone bought him an ice cream and then spat in it, and he's just so disappointed with everything around. And I just believed him so much that he's so disenfranchised with this whole thing. Literally no magic ability, but he wants to become the Wizard King. So that doesn't add up, and everyone tells him that doesn't add up. but he doesn't care. But so quite early, probably a handful of episodes, but I like the direction, and it's just giving that inspirational vibes that certain types of anime gives.
You're quite lucky. There's quite a few seasons for that. You got a lot to go through.
A lot like One Piece, a lot.
No.
No,
Okay,
not that
much.
Okay, all right.
Like it's got a good amount.
Okay.
You can look forward to it. You're not intimidated by it. So
that's what I like. That's although I am also watching One Piece as well.
Wow, that's a impressive. One Piece is what, 500 episodes, is it, or more? Wow.
They're bringing out
Let's
new
go.
One
Let's go
Piece,
with
aren't
all
they?
more.
Oh, okay, right.
It attacks your brain. I don't know how to explain it in a good way. Like it's a very enjoyable experience. Like it is an experience. It's meaningful, and it brings up a lot. But Millennium Actress is definitely more gentle and peaceful, whereas Perfect Blue is like in your face,
shakes you up.
shakes you up. Yeah, it really. Yeah, I don't know. It's more aggressive about it. But they both make you think really deeply. And just two very different experiences, but they're both about some kind of chase, which is really interesting. I don't know, there was something about that moment that I was like, oh, he's gonna go. So I kind of, that symbolism being there so early on, like then when he sort of like, when she can't find him, I felt like he was dead. That was kind of part of the story, and that was the comment about the waning moon was kind of like a little what's the word, prerequisite to say like that's what's going to happen.
Like foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was really, really instructive and really helpful. It was really scary at first, but my love for it just grew, and I knew I wanted to work professionally as a writer in some capacity. I just didn't know what form that would take yet.
Oh, cool. So, do you want to let us a bit? The words did not come out there. Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Right. So we're all our protagonists in our own stories, and every good protagonist has a goal and a vision of success. So what does
Ignore everything I just said. I didn't change anything. Is it raining? I don't know why I cared. I'm inside.
It's raining outside where I am not. I'm not planning to be.
I don't know why for a moment I felt that really hurt. Why is it raining? Like at some point it's got to be spring. Like, seriously, I think that's why I'm hurt. Just at some point, it just.
I mean, it's April now, so showers are expected.
Yeah, but off the back of like March showers, like you can't do April showers when March also had showers. Got to be a
But
1 month.
March showers were not like spring showers. They were just like winter showers.
That's like winter cast off showers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward because I like April showers. I like the spring rain because it's surrounded by sunshine. Like spring rain has sun before it and sun after it.
Yeah. I guess I'm arguing for the balance of the sun. That's what I'm arguing for.
And they're like these beautiful downpours, and then they just brighten up and everything flourishes.
Yeah, and you get a double rainbow. Oh wait, that was last month.
Yeah,
was that this month?
No, that was the first. You said that was the first. Yeah.
Oh, that's a sign.
Yeah, that was a sign. That was a very strong sign.
I should remember that. Shouldn't forget that.
See, this is the thing. You're probably getting loads of signs, and the universe is like, for God's sake, and you just
what
like,
is this guy? Yeah, that sounds accurate. Like, yeah, someone knocked this guy over the head so he can get it.
Because that was a double rainbow on the 1st of April, which is obviously also April Fool's Day, but also the first day of Mercury going into retrograde, and it was,
that was new information. I didn't know that.
In Aries, which is like extra significance. And then also between when was the lunar eclipse?
Isn't that today?
No, that's the
That's a
solar eclipse today.
Yeah.
So there's a lunar eclipse and then a solar eclipse. So it was like a very very strong point, and the significance of double rainbows is like a lot about change, but also one of the other things for double rainbows is like you're seeing both sides of the portal. So like rainbows are kind of like a gateway to like the spiritual
Like
realm.
earth and spiritual thing.
Yeah, and so
Right.
seeing both of them, you're seeing both sides of the gates.
Mm.
So if you imagine it's like
sounds deep.
double doors of a court, like
Yeah.
with a thing in the middle, like you've just seen both of them open.
That sounds really powerful.
Yeah, it's like
When you put it like that. I was just like thinking the meme.
and being on the first of any month, but particularly April with April Fools. The Fool in tarot is like the Fool's Journey, which I'm sure you're like familiar with the hero's journey, which is a very similar thing.
That one I am familiar with, yeah.
Yeah, so the Fool's Journey and the hero's journey are like very similar.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, it's like, you know, the naive start, but like the start of a journey where you've got everything, but you're just not necessarily aware of all the pitfalls that are ahead of you.
Right. Again, naive journey sounds like me, and yeah, it's just sounding pretty. Yeah, you need to do like lessons because I saw a rainbow because I didn't actually see double. I took a picture and I looked at the picture like, "Whoa, there's two there," and then I looked up, "Oh, there's two." And then my first thought was literally in my head. I went, "What does it mean?" And then I paused for a second. It's like, "Wait, what does that mean?" Actually, that's got to mean something. And did a quick look, but I thought, let me message Tazziii because so she'll be able to put better context on my random googling.
When you said it, I was like, yeah, double rainbows do mean something. And I was like, what do they mean again? But then obviously, like, I knew all what was happening outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year in general is like a very powerful year spiritually.
Why is that?
There's just so much.
Hello, doing the last bit. I'll be on in 5.
Okay.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, there is like so many powerful points of this year. I don't think there's one. I think it'll be hard. Like it's hard challenge to go a month of this year without something significant happening with the planets.
Right, and is that not usual in terms of every month?
Not to this extent. Like the fact that you have a lunar eclipse and then a solar eclipse like within a week of each other is wild. Obviously, this year's a leap year. The start of the year was like, what was it at the beginning of the year? Full moon or a new moon? I don't know. There was like a significant moon on the start of the year. Like, so what else is there? I'm trying to think retrospectively. I can't remember, but there was a lot. There was a lot at the beginning of the year, and it's still a lot. We're just constantly in a lot this year. And the fact that as well that the lunar eclipse and solar eclipse and then Mercury retrograde all sort of like happened within like a short time frame within weeks of it. It's just because that is a lot of energy.
I need to pay more attention. It sounds like just a lot is happening. So it's like stuff where there's a lot happening and it's just outside of your knowledge, but like it's happening and it's like influencing stuff around you.
Yeah, so like there's planets that move more slowly, and so a whole generation of people will have that planet in the same house or same like sign. And like so each house is like what focus. So like there's a house that like represents family, there's a house that represents like wealth and material things, there's a house that represents like a emotion. So there's houses that hello.
Hey.
Sorry, I heard you just doing the whole like astrology rundown. I love that.
Yeah, I'm getting a lesson. Like apparently I need to pay more attention to signs.
There you go. And the star movements, of course.
That was weird. Sorry. What is going on? One of my monitors is like cutting out.
The joys of tech.
Like a horror scene or a horror film.
Yeah. I feel like I'm on host. Okay. I think it's okay. Sorry about that. It's like a mini panic attack. I'm like, no.
Crisis averted.
Now I'm bloopering, so I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
My bad.
Let me fix that typo just there. Sorry. Sorry, Abby. This is what you get for joining our episode.
Don't worry, this is me recording any video ever.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, content creator, so you know. It's funny as content creators when people watch what you put out and they're like, oh yeah, that's so smooth and slick, and if only they knew.
Nothing smooth or slick about it. We are joined by our guest, Abby, who is a gaming enthusiast from Bristol, UK, is a video game content creator and cosplayer known as Opal Inc. Cosplay. She said, about to like, she sells. We are joined by Abby, who is a gaming enthusiast from Bristol, UK, is a video game content creator and cosplayer known as Opal Inc. Cosplay. She shares her passion for gaming, crafting, and cosplay.
Oh, bless you.
That was actually funny.
Not wording today.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
It's a long bank holiday weekend. I was at a day rave yesterday. I feel like maybe I'm still.
Yeah. It's the planets.
It's the planets. The planets.
Anyway, none of this is going in the episode. I'll continue.
Yeah, that was very awesome. I was very lucky to grab. Well, I say I was very lucky. Luckily, my friend was getting my septum pierced. My friend was online at the time to grab tickets because that was like a ticketed event. So that was really great. Yeah, Square Enix very kindly organised a sort of pre-launch community event for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where they had sort of space for fans to come in and meet Hamaguchi and oh my god, I've completely blanked. I've been talking so much today. Oh my god, that's really bad. Wait, cut this.
It's all for the content, but
it's not necessarily like when I started, it was quite late in. So I was very lucky with the God of War stuff with Santa Monica Studio, because they flew me out to LA to the studio to go meet the dev team, meet everyone. And I sat down and I had lunch with Corey Barlog and Eric Williams, who were the directors of obviously God of War and then Ragnarok. And I was talking to them a lot about my bad experience with education and really wanted to get into the industry, but not quite knowing, because at that point I was still working within journalism. And both of them were just saying to me, like, you're still young. And as someone that's 24, I don't necessarily feel young anymore, which is a really...
Oh, you are young.
I know.
young. So young.
Let me confirm that.
But this is the thing. It doesn't matter how old you are. You know, and even if you're like as young as I am, or even as young as like 21, 22, you feel too old at one point to do stuff. And it's really easy to feel like, oh, I'm too old for this because we're meant to know what we're doing at like 16, 17, 18. It's like, no, I don't know, man. I'm just here.
I'm sorry, but like your prefrontal oh my god, I can't say the thing. The bit of your brain hasn't even finished developing until like 25. No one under 25 can even think about age. You've not finished growing to full-grown adult yet. I have never felt so old so quickly. It's the way that they phrased it. I'm like, people. No, it's not people.
It's kids.
It's kids because they weren't alive. Not people. I mean, they are people, but like it made it out as if the vast majority of people. No, please. Anyway, sorry. That happened to me today, and then you're like saying about your age, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so young.
I know, but this is the thing. It doesn't matter how old you are. You know, and even if you're like as young as I am, or even as young as like 21, 22, you feel too old at one point to do stuff. And it's really easy to feel like, oh, I'm too old for this because we're meant to know what we're doing at like 16, 17, 18. It's like, no, I don't know, man. I'm just here.
Sorry, but like your prefrontal oh my god, I can't say the thing. The bit of your brain hasn't even finished developing until like 25. No one under 25 can even think about age. You've not finished growing to full-grown adult yet.
It's silly, isn't it?
So funny. And then I think I'm young, but then I feel old when people say stuff, especially people my age. People my age act so old. And I'm like, can we stop acting as if we're ancient?
Just let me play video games.
We've still got like our whole lives ahead of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me not go into a spiral. It's not even
together, it's fine.
Normally these only happen on episodes where we're talking about Disney Pixar movies.
It's existential crisis is like
I'm sorry. Well, to be fair, someone mentioned that this is way off track. I'm sorry. Someone mentioned that like Blackberries were vintage the other day, and I was like, just be quiet. Just be quiet.
Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god.
I missed my Blackberry flip.
That's taking me back. Well, let's get back into the present, because the present moment is the most valuable moment in time that you'll ever have.
And I'm saying this as someone that is basically in a constant state of mild burnout to full burnout, you know? I'm saying that as someone that is still learning it, but the fact I can sit here and say, yeah, I'm kind of burnt out from all of this, but I know I'm burnt out, and I can sort of forgive myself if I'm not quite at like the top of my game all the time. It's like really important, because we're not machines, you know? We need the space to be able to breathe and just do things for the enjoyment.
Definitely. I feel like we treat machines with more grace than we do ourselves.
Yeah. I know, you sit and have to like charge your phone up every night and just leave it alone and charge. Like, you also need to do that.
And if you're a young and aspiring comic, let me just try that again. This is a day for bloopers.
Yeah, just a reminder that we have our March poll as well, where we have been asking the community. That's the wrong.
Yeah, that is the wrong one. Seems like
that we've been asking.
Copy and pasting to reach it all the way down, and the notes started relatively strong, and then just tails off towards the end.
We can do another book if you guys like.
Yeah, we'll fill the time of me updating the notes with another book. There we go. Cool. I think that works. Does that work? There we go.
Oh, wait, what? No, that's okay. Now, yeah, that was right. That's the great thing about doing a live one.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was pretty much on the first page, and first or second page, it was like, you know, one of the first things you see. And I did just notice the detail of like the porch, and next the side of the house there was like, I don't know, some like boots, and this page. There's like some boots and like, I don't know, like plant pots and just like farmy stuff.
Farmy stuff.
Like country house farmy stuff. Just there. And I remember just thinking, wow, like there's so much detail drawn into this.
There are jobs out there that you don't enjoy, and they're not that worth the stress. The pay is not worth the stress, and you might as well, if you're gonna be broke, enjoy it. Enjoy
being broke. Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoy something.
There's some advice. Yeah, if you're gonna be broke, at least enjoy being broke.
Yeah.
That's not a bad shout.
I think that's some solid advice.
Yeah. Like, if any parents listening, you might want to just switch off now. But everyone else, keep that in mind.
I feel really annoying if I have to share anything, because I feel I'm pestering people, or I might get reported as like spam or something.
But you know what? I'm glad you said that, because we've had like conversations like internally. I mean, I was just, because we've got some work experience students. I was telling them, because they're involved in marketing, but then other creators as well. And the example I always use is, if you think about like Coca-Cola, still spend billions on marketing, and that's Coca-Cola. Like the product hasn't changed; it's the same product.
Oh yeah.
But they still, so if they're spending that much, and you don't feel like, I don't feel pestered because I can't even remember the last time I saw a Coca-Cola advert. Like, we aren't marketing enough, or at least not too much. Like, it's impossible because I'm definitely not spending billions on marketing. So it's always, you always feels more than you think it is where you are.
Sorry, I am ADHD brain is very ADHD today. So
such a mood.
So this interview is supposed to be an hour 30 minutes, right, or around there?
About an hour once we get started. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, mate, that is not enough time. It's impossible. I'm here. That is not enough time. Arc Shonen. Anytime we talk to anyone, it's an hour is not happening. Okay, Tazziii, can you say some ADHD dialogue so that I can relate to you? Yeah, there we go. That's the ADHD brain freeze. I can relate already. Wow. Okay.
This should be interesting.
Like the first manga I remember reading, probably Dragon Ball, and then a bit of Dr. Slump, and then from there I was hooked. And then before I knew it, One Piece, Naruto, the usual kind of big hitters in shonen. And it kind of
from London, by the way.
Oh, I should also mention I'm from London as well. But then so are you. So that's how we met.
Hey, you done?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Wait, what was the question? Please repeat it. Okay, do you have a favorite anime then?
No, I don't do favorites.
Okay, yeah, do you have a top five? Do you have a top five in your brain? When I just said that, did something pop in your mind?
I don't do favorites.
How's that possible? How?
It's impossible to pick favorites. I think it's crazy that people have favorites. How people can love something so much.
Do you have favorite foods?
No. Like I have, the only thing I have favorites for is a favorite movie and a favorite color.
Do you have a favorite hairstyle?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I don't do favorites. It doesn't, because what I like the most changes depending on my mood and the time of day, like the freaking moon phase. You know, like there's so many factors, and that if there's something great, like how can you choose one thing when all of them are enjoyable?
No. So how can I say all of them can be enjoyable? You see how there's rating systems like 1 to 10, right?
Yeah, no,
so
I don't understand how people can rank things like that.
Okay,
when there's so many. There's so much great anime in the world. Like,
okay, do you have things which you think are terrible? Do you think there's shows that which you're watching like that was terrible? Oh, I did not like that.
There's things that I don't enjoy. Yeah.
Okay, so you're capable of.
No, but that's two categories. Yes, I enjoyed it, and no, I didn't.
Okay,
that's it.
So that's a hierarchy.
Trust me. Okay. There is no hierarchy. If I love it, I love it. I don't like, just me as a person, like I have so much love. If I love things, there's no way that I can then narrow down to a singular favorite or a top 10 favorite. Maybe I could do like top 100, that might work. But it wouldn't be ordered. It would just be like, here is 100 things that I like and I equally like for different reasons.
See, an interesting experiment, it would be like if you could only eat 5 different dishes for the rest of your life, and there was a list of 100 that you typically like, and there was what you can do is you could either pick 5, or
I'd end up starving to death.
Yeah. Or we do what we do for our end of year episode, and then we get force Tazziii to pick a top 5. So that's like a once in a year thing.
Once a year thing. And even then, I'm
it's
literally
a struggle.
And then I'm there like, and then here's like 100 honorary mentions.
Wow.
Like I've had to come up with a system to like so that I can choose that and feel less guilty, but it still like breaks me. That's what I'm saying. Like my mood is such a factor in like what is my favorite at the time.
Is that a unique thing? I don't think I've heard someone like that. Is that unique, or do you have friends that are like that?
It's not unique, but it is rare. Like it is quite rare. Like it's.
But then that's the order and chaos, right? Because I pretty much pick that favorite. So all right, let's talk about you guys, because
I told you, this is gonna keep on happening.
You did warn me. Yeah, that's cool. We can. It's like riding one of those mechanical balls.
That's one thing I told him I want him to go to that embassy, was to boost his confidence, to know that if he works, he can achieve any art dream, right? But that right now it's kind of fading away. What we got from it because he's stuck in his job doing this thing. So hopefully he gets fired or something. I don't know.
Man.
So that's what weirdest motivational talk that I've heard.
What's going on?
Yeah, different flavors of ADHD apparently.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that because I feel like if I ask any more questions, we'll be here. Yeah, and we've got to record another episode. So,
if you guys want to do another one, you need to schedule more time because we can have some very good. Trust me, you haven't even touched the tip of where we can go. I'm saying the conversation that I can bring up is very good.
So I can't remember. I saw an interview earlier today. And I was like, I need that game.
That is cool.
Teach you how to make the food because I would be all up that.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can just pick up some hints.
It's on screen. It's like, this is how much you need of inch.
That actually sounds very helpful.
Yeah, that would be great. Imagine Cooking Mama, but with imperial units that you could Sorry, not imperial. Metric. I don't even know where I'm from.
I don't know if you've heard of Kubo and the Two Strings. I haven't actually seen it yet.
Have you not seen it yet? Oh my god, you're in for a treat.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list to watch.
Okay. What about that one then?
Nice. I'll make sure to watch that.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Like it needs a re-release.
It does. I agree. I absolutely loved it. I'm just like, why haven't I was so mad that I just now watched it. This is amazing. I'm a huge fan of stop motion when it comes to that category, and I'm just like, wow, I've slept on this. I even seen I sent a picture in the chat of the actual prop from the actual movie that was at that's also in the LA Cinema Museum, and I've seen it this past fall, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's the movie I always wanted to watch. And then I was like, I'm gonna save this to my phone for the right moment, and I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, now I can actually appreciate the art because he had different section of this whole movie on the stop motion floor, aside from Tim Burton and everything like that, and they just had the whole set of the different scenes of his town and his village. And I'm just like, oh my god, the amount of work and precision that they had with the sets is amazing. And I was just like, I just want people to appreciate it now.
Yeah. Nigel's been quiet for a little bit. I'm like, are you still there?
Oh, I was on mute for that whole time. Wait, when was I? I don't even remember switching that.
No, you're good.
Okay. Wait, how long was I on mute for?
Since you asked the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yeah, I think so.
What did I say?
You're like, oh my god, yeah, they're responding to me.
Yeah, trying to guide the conversation in that, and it was working. It was. I feel like I said and what do you think, Tazziii? And then Tazziii said something. That was wild. No,
that happens.
It happens a lot to us where we serendipitously have a conversation.
Yeah.
No, literally, I do that all the time when I'm in my gaming voice chats, and I'm just in a big group chat. I'm just like, yeah, they're exactly. Yeah, I know, right? And I'm just talking to myself.
And no one else is listening. Yeah. What I was going to say. I feel we're used to this now. The break doesn't throw us off or throw me off as much. I actually remember how to. It's almost turning it into a muscle memory. Podcasting muscle memory.
It's all about what's the word? Optimizing, reiteration. Iteration. That's what I'm looking for. Iteration.
Yeah. Definitely.
When I used to stream, it was all about as long as you improve one thing each stream you do. By the time you've done 20 streams, you've improved 20 things.
Yeah.
Mine was just remember to not mute your mic.
I mean, that still happened.
Also good. Yeah.
It's like the curse. It's like the stream curse because it doesn't matter how long someone's been streaming for.
Oh yeah, people.
Everyone does it.
Yeah. Sure.
It doesn't matter how many lights ever put into mics to make it like we all do it. Like I just even like the biggest streamers do it. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
Hello, Coco. How's it going?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Because we've got our first photo shoot day for the campaign tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so we've got one tomorrow, one Saturday. So I've just been like looking at emails of people. We lost a couple of people and then got one. And yeah, it's always a balancing act with this. But yeah, we're doing the first day tomorrow, and then we're going to see if we can do the Birmingham thing as well. So I'll keep you posted.
It's fully worth doing, I think. You'll get a lot of gamers in a gaming convention. So
it does make sense. It does make sense. So I'm hoping that it makes sense to them as well.
And then I will be backtracking on everything that I've been saying to everyone that I'm not going to Insomnia. I don't know if to just like surprise everyone, just jump scare everyone, and act like I'm not going with you.
Just
and
turn
be
up.
like, "Hey, I'm here."
That'll make it for a good reaction video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess no Insomnia.
Oh my god, please don't. Because when the YouTube gaming event, we're all like, "Oh, I haven't seen you since Insomnia."
Yeah, it says
flashbacks.
And we're all like, "Oh, and the next time I would definitely see you would be in Insomnia."
Catch you later. No. So that means we have to hang out now.
Yeah, we have to. We have to hang out.
Sorry. I know how you like to. Yeah.
I like watching the showcases, but I kind of miss like the old days where you just had to wait till like E3, where all the companies would like get together and like have their big old announcements. Because like usually when there are showcases, there are few a year, and sometimes there's only a couple titles that really pique my interest. It like almost kind of reminds me of Marvel these days. Like, do you guys remember after Endgame, we're like, wow, what a brilliant arc. Like, it'll be nice to have a break while they work on the next brilliant project. And then we got bombarded with like so much content that it was like impossible to keep up with.
And yeah, it's just, did I mention cakes? Yeah, so it's all good. We've done it twice before. Yeah, very inspired. Is that the word I was looking for? There's a word that just escaped my brain. Anyway, very encouraged by the turnout at the past events. So hoping for the same this time around.
I'm thinking about that so much because I'm not a creative person at all.
Okay. Oh, that'd be interesting then. Thought everyone's a bit creative, but interesting to hear what you've got to add to that.
I feel like I haven't been creative since I was like a child, you know?
That's funny coming from the fact that I've just been at an event that was all about creativity.
I have
about how everyone is creative. It just might not be like art, like drawing or like traditional creative roles.
Don't consider myself to be particularly creative or artistic in terms of like coming up with stuff. I'm very good at taking direction from an art director or working with people to figure stuff out. I definitely fall into that much more than like, I could never be a concept artist, basically. What they do is magic.
Nice. I love the idea of it being like solving a puzzle and like fitting things together. That's pretty cool.
For me, creativity is a means of expressing feelings and telling stories. In my case, I can do it through the violin performances, through arrangements, but also through media, so creating content. So basically, it would be the art of translating my emotions or stories into sounds or into videos to connect better with the rest of the world.
What a beautifully put answer.
So we're hardwired to create, to shape our environment, to tell stories. And I think that vein runs through everybody, whether or not they realize it and whether or not they choose to exercise their creativity is dependent on their environment, if they get the chance to do it. Some people are in jobs that they don't think are very creative, but they involve creative problem solving, for example. And then you have other people who just have this insane desire to tell stories and make stuff up and just really share their own little worlds that they've put time and thought into with other people and make other people feel something, whether it's make them laugh by telling jokes or by drawing comics that are funny, or make them feel powerful emotions.
Yeah, it's interesting thinking about this because I'm a classic overthinker. Like everything I do, I'm like always like playing it over and over and over in my mind. And one of the things that naturally happens from that is that I start sort of taking value out of things. Like it feels like things are very arbitrary or things are kind of meaningless the more I obsess about them, or they become like very distant and abstract. So when I think about creativity, it's like, for me, it's very much this search to add meaning back into the things in my life that I've sort of destroyed by overthinking. So it's always like trying to find that thing that is like so fundamentally human that I cannot escape it. I cannot deny the meaning in it. And I think whenever I'm thinking creatively, I'm trying to think like, how do I find those fundamentally human things that I can use to reconnect with people?
So I want to talk a bit about the start of your journey. Can you tell us about your early life? Where did you grow up? And what inspired you to want to work in video games?
I'm old now. This is a very long and interesting story. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York. So, like, my graduating year was 25 kids. 5 were homeschooled who I'd never met before, who came to our school for, like, a proper graduation. It's a place where everyone knows everyone and no one leaves. With that said, at a very young age, I wanted to be on the internet. I thought that there was this whole world out there that I knew nothing about because I've never left. So my introduction to games was Minecraft. I had Minecraft on my laptop, and I played online with a bunch of people. I came from a family that don't really know what the internet is. They don't really touch technology. So my dad was very concerned that I was in my room talking to myself all the time. It turns out I was talking to people on the internet, and the people that I was talking to were game developers. Quite a few of them in this Minecraft server happened to be game developers, which I thought was amazing. I thought, I'm going to be a game developer someday. I'm going to make these games that I'm watching all these other people create. But it turns out I don't have the patience to create games. You need to know math, apparently. And everything's very hard.
It's so relatable.
So I didn't make games because that was too hard for me. And this is like 16-year-old me chilling again in my room. And so instead I started hearing about game jams. And a friend of mine, Chris, he was like, you know, these people make games in 2 days. And I was like, there's no way you can make a game in 2 days. This isn't real. This is bizarre that you're saying this. You know, I tried for months. And he introduced me to Ludum Dare, or Ludum Dare, however you want to pronounce it, and said, you should play some of these games on YouTube. You should highlight them on YouTube. YouTube was a bit smaller back then. And I said, how will I know what the best games are? And he said, well, there's a voting system, obviously, and you can just play the top. And I was like, no, my best games might be different from your best games, so I'll play all of them. He said, there's 600 games. You can't play all of them. You're definitely a child with big aspirations. And I was like, this is a challenge. I will play all of them. I didn't play all of them, but I did play nearly 1,000 of them in a compilation style on YouTube.
That is impressive.
Yes, and wrote feedback for all of them.
That is just genuinely such an impressive achievement.
Yeah, I didn't have many hobbies back then. Or responsibilities. But yeah, so then I started, at the time there were only 4 major game jams, so I started doing game jam coverage of every game jam of all of the games, because I felt like if someone took the time to make a game, it's sad if they don't ever get to see someone playing it, because it's a lot of effort. It's really hard to make a game. And then I started playing. I ended up getting around 5,000 games a year on YouTube that I was playing, but I wanted a way to highlight the individual games that I felt were the best beyond these voting systems. So I started writing up my jam favorites, so my best of the best from the jams. And I wrote those for like various random websites on the internet that don't exist anymore. And eventually grew a Twitter following. I moved to England to meet the people from the Minecraft server. and put out a tweet that said someone should really pay me money for this, and have been in the games industry since.
That worked.
It did. A website, Alpha Beta Gamer, turned around and said, we'll give you $10 human per article. And I was like, sold. Done.
Wow.
Cool. Human dollars are the best dollars.
That's a new way of job hunting that I've not heard. Not specifically like that.
Well, if you think about it, it's portfolio building. That's how I've justified all of this. I built up a portfolio of I definitely am not an AI. I write articles. I record little videos. Here I am, a person really in this tiny niche of the industry, because everywhere has a niche. My niche was game jams. And because I was such a key point in this small bit of gaming culture, when I instantly was like, I'm hireable, hire me, people were like, well, she does have all of these articles that she's written for these sites that are meaningless, and she has done all of this video work. And I got a lot of opportunities through just sort of having this as a hobby. So like when Game Jolt released their Game Jam, you can build a Game Jam on Game Jolt, I held the first ever Game Jolt Game Jam. Because I was just known for game jams, and I got to judge a bunch of them and give talks to university students who were starting game jams. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, that is like such a cool journey and such a cool way that you then got to the point where you were paid.
Building up a portfolio was a bit of a challenge, because you need to do that for most jobs. Places, when it comes to pitching your articles to them, won't accept you based on a PDF. They want to see like published work, which is fine. I forgot half your question halfway through answering that, if I'm honest. I'm just saying challenges.
Well, the other half of that was the highlights.
The highlights. Yeah, I didn't want to stick on the challenges, but I was like, I don't remember the rest of this question.
They find that the lab has clones of many people, but not all Glen residents. Actually, let me do that again. That doesn't make sense. Fontaine falls into a state of... After Fontaine claims the country will be better, older Fontaine claims the country will be better with assimilation rather than... That doesn't make sense either. It's where it happens you don't double check your notes. Yeah, anything else I need to mention? I think that's basically it. I feel like I've forgotten something. Wait, Des, have you... just occurred to me, I've not actually heard Des.
Oh, it's not working?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, was that just me? Or...
I just thought Des was like being quiet until he started recording for some reason.
Been working on getting into a better reading of fiction habit.
Good, yeah.
Because I used to read a ton, and then social media. Just the internet killed my brain. I feel. I'm gonna blame the internet.
You and the rest of the world.
Yeah, but honestly, it's an actual. Because I see it. Speaking of young people, I see it in young people, and it's actually scary. But then I also feel it in myself, just that. Because I'll go on a website and I'll scan, and I'll just start scanning, and I have to kind of correct myself and slow down and like just actually either read it or don't read it. Like read it or don't read it, but don't just like blur your eyes around the screen looking for what I don't know, but I can just feel it and it's not good.
Blur your eyes around the screen.
I don't know, something like that.
No, I need to pick up some fiction. I realized I've read a lot of non-fiction books recently. And I realized like I really just need to just like get lost in some pages.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just doing a lot, and then I end up just like binging lots of anime, and like not that there's anything wrong with that, but then I'm like watching loads and then not necessarily paying attention. It's not like I'm sitting down and like properly taking it in and like experiencing it, and I'm like, I need to just like get lost in a good book away from a screen.
That is it. So read more, basically. That's what we're saying.
That's
read fiction.
Yeah.
The thing is, I almost exclusively, when I read, I always read fiction because it's, yes, non-fiction absolutely has its place, and people do need to read more fiction that isn't just like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like actually read some, some theory.
The classics, yeah.
But then with fiction, it's like, it's good to read these kinds of stories that help like kind of speak to social issues or like different cultural phenomena, and yeah, just kind of help you like refocus your worldview a little bit. Like so much good fiction has kind of opened my mind in that respect. People like Octavia Butler, Ursula Le Guin, folks like them, they're great.
That's a good point. It's I don't know why it's making me remind me of this, but there's I would read a lot of like fantasy stuff, and I just remember just like how stories can help you reconsider the world and give you like actual lessons. Like fictional stories can give you actual lessons. And I remember this story about, I can't even remember what the whole story was about, but there was a point where there was these monks, these like non-violent monks, and they made this, the leader was making this argument about arguing another point of view. And there's a sequence in the book where it's like, oh, we do this thing where if there's a debate, the two people debating have to argue each other's points as strongly as they would argue their own. And to do that, you have to see another person's perspective. And that's something that's stuck. I read that book like more than a decade ago, and it just stuck with me. Like fiction can do that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like there was a time in my life where I kept on like meeting people who were like staunch advocates against fiction.
What?
And I was like,
how can you...
yeah, right, exactly. Because they were just like, yeah, I don't have a TV. I don't watch movies or TV shows. And I was like, right. I mean, at first I was just like, I mean, you genuinely sound boring. But then unpacking it from there, like, yeah, it
were they
means
Amish?
that you're
Is it Amish?
Amish? No, they were just like. They weren't even like tech bros. They were like hippy dippy. It was a whole range of people. Some of them were tech bros.
Like my RE teacher.
No, it for me it's like the biggest signal that you're very literally close-minded. Like, and I mean that in the most literal definition of that word.
Yeah, that's bad. How would you? Yeah.
Also, I feel like as human beings, we're supposed to stretch our imaginations. Like that's part of human experience, is to like use that part of your brain that is imagination. And good fiction, especially a good fictional book, like flexes that part of your brain.
Yeah, massively.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, this isn't even a podcast, but read, kids, stay in school. We're doing our PSA. Yeah, PSA like for reading.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it lays it on, like it doesn't tell us it all at once. So like for each character, it just sort of like adds these layers. And especially with Flick and Fontaine, because they are both clones. Whereas Yo-Yo isn't, and Yo-Yo has a lot more depth because of that. But yeah, like what was the point I was going to make?
And yeah, it was a good film. It's like a surprising story. Like I said, didn't know what to expect. Just saw Jamie Foxx, and that was pretty much it. So that is our discussion on They Cloned Tyrone. And I've just broken my pen. Anyway. They Cloned Tyrone. Let us know what you thought of this film. If you were surprised, if you knew about it, if you feel it should have had a longer cinema release, because I feel it deserved that. But we found it eventually. We enjoyed it. Before we end for this episode, let's get into this week's storytelling tip. As I move this window over. Nope, this is not a slick transition. Anyway, okay. These narratives, they thrive on ambiguity, so keeping the audience guessing while unraveling the mystery and waiting for resolution. Waiting for the resolution. Yeah, I guess we are going solo, so we will skip guest. I don't know why it feels weird. It always feels weird not to have a guest.
Yeah, and it could either make the podcast go extra long.
Well, yeah,
or it's a real wild card, that one.
It is, yeah. We need that third person guidance. But yeah, and it just says that this is a serious film because what he's about to do is very serious, but also there's some comedy in it, and I like that use of like dialogue to tell you what the film is about tonally without spelling out so much.
And it does have like a really good balance of like drama and comedy.
Yeah.
Like I think it's really hard to get that level of like seriousness and comedy so well without ruining one or the other. Like that's a balancing act. And
looking at you, Thor: Love and Thunder.
You went way off the scale on the wrong direction.
Is a story that takes us forward 300 years after Caesar's death to a young chimpanzee called Noah, who is preparing for a coming-of-age ceremony by collecting eagle eggs with his friends Anaya? Don't know why that name just threw me off. Anaya. That's it. I was trying to get the tone just like escaped me for some reason. Anyway. Noah confronts May and she discloses knowledge of a hidden entrance to the vault. Noah agrees to help her in the hopes of destroying Proximus's settlement and leading his clan back home. So Noah, May, Suna, I don't know why that name has thrown me off so much. Anaya. Wow.
I can get the basic understanding. And then even I was like, when they were like, for Caesar, I was like, this doesn't sound right.
Wait a minute.
I think you got it wrong. No. And then I was like, did I need to watch this? Seems wrong from what's been positioned in the beginning of the film, and from the like what I know from the first. I was like, something's not right here. Even just how they went about it. Just in general, I'm like, if anyone screams someone's name and is like for this person and is killing a load of people, I don't trust that that's what that person wanted just in anyone.
It's good. It's usually a good sign if you don't need to scream their name. If you do, then maybe something's wrong. Before we completely wrap for this episode, let's get into this week's storytelling tip. And I've actually moved the window over, so I just sabotaged myself. This is what it feels like to be Tazziii.
But Nigel, what have you been enjoying? Or not enjoying? You don't have to have enjoyed them.
That's a good point. Maybe need to throw in some duds in this in future. I think mine are all pretty solid. So I have finished
Wait a minute,
Fallout.
guys. Are you telling me that I can talk about things that I don't like?
Yeah, did you not get that in the contract?
The conversation is just about things that we have been reading, watching, or playing. At no point did I say things that we like that we are reading, watching, or playing.
Yeah, I thought he would just be nice, but
No, it's
okay.
what it is what it says on the tin.
Okay. I'll next time I'll bring some stinkers for you guys.
Yeah, the hate pile.
Yeah. I have 8 pages of why I think this movie sucks so bad, and I'm not even joking. That's genuinely. I was like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna take notes. And,
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I think this might be the most question marks I've used in the show notes. It's maybe the record for most question marks and most consecutive question marks.
That I love that because I like I said, I have 8 pages of notes on why this movie is the worst. So question marks means potentially more space for Mark complaining about a movie.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very interesting conversation because my opinion is like not what you would.
Oh, you always have contrarian opinions, but every time I hear them, I'm like, yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I get it.
I was so disappointed with the cast. You're so right. Like, I really wanted it to just be some like up and coming actors that could have really made something with.
And could kickstart their career.
Yeah,
and kickstart something new and exciting for them.
Maybe
even if it's
people
on the best
career
world.
ender. This could have been a career ender.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe even people that like actually have played Borderlands as well.
Get someone on this.
Because if you think of something like One Piece, the actors are so enthusiastic about knowing the characters they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have got something like that with Borderlands, like
definitely.
It's so fun, and just like it could have had like so much like improv as well, because that game, like I'm sure half the voice lines are like people have just said some random stuff and we're like, let's keep it. Let's keep it. That works.
Are the actors in One Piece, were they all like relatively new faces to certainly a Netflix level TV shows? Because I have not seen the show.
And they all have experience. So the guy who plays Zoro, he was like scouted. They like really wanted him. Okay. Apparently they asked him like several times because at first they wouldn't tell him what it was. But they wanted someone Japanese speaking. Taz Skylar's done like a few bits before. I'm not sure about the others, mainly because they're the two that I follow.
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
The same name as me and Zoro.
Love that. That's the main reason. I don't think Kevin Hart, Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, I don't think any of them are ever going to think about this job ever again. They won't get residuals from it, for sure.
No, yes. Everything they got now.
Exactly. I certainly won't miss it if you said to me, Mark, I'm sorry, we're removing Borderlands from time, the movie. I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's a video game with such a rich experience. It didn't need a film.
100%.
It could have done with a TV show. I feel like
I was thinking that would have been a better show.
Like, an anime maybe.
Okay, anime I'm fully on board on. Yeah, give me that. I would like that, please.
Yeah.
Give me an anime.
But not a film, and not like this. Like
not like
this. I was just surprised that Jack Black could be not Jack Black. Like that was
I'm sure. That's the most miracle of this entire thing. Yeah.
I was like, if I didn't know, I wouldn't have known that was Jack Black, but which is kind of a bad thing.
Yeah.
When the character just didn't have any character as well, that you then got like this big headliner to generic.
We've had a good year for adaptations, or a couple of years. We've had The Last of Us. We've had Fallout, which is probably one of my favorite shows now. Full stop. And I looked on the Wikipedia when we started recording of the story of this production that Craig Mazin was initially involved, and that's what got this over the line, which is hilarious because The Last of Us, I think, is brilliantly written, just so well written. And this movie is not.
Is it written?
I definitely.
There was so much of like, we're telling you this, and like you say, Mark, and not showing, and it made me think like the vote. I mean, there's many things, but the vote is like the vote. I to this day, I don't know what was so special, and it made me think of like, imagine sitting down Avengers: Infinity War, and you never see the gauntlet or the stones, and I tell you this is the big bad thing. It's going to destroy everything, and you never see it until like the final act of Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking? Like, you're telling
you don't
me
even know it's a gauntlet. You just know
just
that
something.
There's
it's called the gauntlet. It might be a gauntlet. It might not be.
It could be. Yeah. Who knows? We just know that it's a bad thing.
Tune in next year to find out. Like, you can't do that. You got to show us something.
But I've not played them like multiple times. Like I've dabbled in the first one. I actually, after watching the film, had to go back and play the first one because I was like, did I just get wildly gaslit?
Yes, you did. Oh my god! Sorry, you nailed it. That's exactly what that movie is.
I was like, not like this isn't. Am I just forgetting everything? Like I literally thought like anyway, but I haven't played them like multiple times. I've like jumped in and out, so I've played the games, but I would say I was pleasantly surprised.
Huh? Plot twist.
Tazziii, always just picking the most left field thing.
Pleasantly surprised.
Wait, let her finish the sentence.
Because I thought
It's not all bad. This is bad, but it's not all bad. Can I round out and do the tip, but round out with a few Letterboxd reviews? I'll just quickly run through
Oh
these.
my god, yes.
A few that
Give it
stood
to
out.
me. I need it.
So from Letterboxd, at what's this? Matt Singer says after a bunch on theme. After a bunch of respectable video game movies recently, it's kind of refreshing to see this one consistently junky. Nature is healing. Yep, because that's what nature does. David Chen says, I feel about Borderlands what you'd feel if your local middle school put on a play version of a popular video game. Is it any good? No. Are there massive, obvious problems that are occasionally baffling? Absolutely. Is there anything of artistic redeeming value? Not really. But do you appreciate that everyone got all dressed up and put on a bunch of effort? Kinda. And I feel Jake Petrosky perfectly round this up. We have Guardians of the Galaxy at home.
So I don't know if you want to, like, if I read it, loose it in. Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, like a... What, like to read
I've done
okay.
like a post
Okay.
on my Instagram, and got one response, unsurprisingly, and it was, I actually enjoyed it. I don't know why everyone was hating on it so much, and just
hold on. Can you check? Can you check and see if they're the parent of somebody who was in the movie? Can we just make sure that that's not happening?
So I feel like this was one of the things. You know how I was pleasantly surprised that it was like not a terror. Like it wasn't. It was something that I could put on, and like it wasn't something I wanted to turn off. Basically, it was just generic.
Okay.
Movie.
I don't believe it, but okay. Someone said it.
I don't know, but yeah, that was the comment I got through my Instagram question.
Okay. All right. I don't know what to do with that, but we'll put that in.
I will say it would probably be a lot easier now because, like, this was
2016. So I was going to note that this was quite a while ago.
And I feel like we have come a long way in like terms of how to find people, and just the exponential growth of social media, like just continues to grow, and it's definitely like moved on a lot further than it was in 2016. Like now there is literally no excuse because you just put a tweet out or
you can get someone
on X.
Yes.
What do you call it now that it's not Twitter?
X.
Twitter now redirects to x.com, so I think we lost. I think we lost, guys. And I wonder, without and it's where we read about audiences, and the expectation is you fight, someone wins, and then end credits. Was it still satisfying to see this end without conflict and like more of an emotional ending?
I think it was more satisfying.
Okay.
I think it's easy to villainize people.
Easy. Have you heard of Twitter?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense, at least to me. In each end, I forgot to segue.
Yeah, I mean, everything else. You've been here before, so.
Yes. Veteran, one would say.
Yeah, shoot. We still don't have that league table, or we don't have it publicly. We kind of have it like on our internal notes. Yeah, like who's been on what episode. I don't know who's been on the most. I have to work that out. Or what is the most number of guest appearances? It must be like 3 or 4. Actually, to be fair, it's probably Lau. Actually, just by default.
Does that Lau count though?
I guess it's kind of cheating. Yeah,
it's definitely cheating. It can be on there, but with the caveat, no prizes.
Yeah, no.
We started the podcast. We can't get a prize to be on it at the moment.
Literally, like.
I generally think it's an amazing thing. I don't see, and I'm hoping next time round they sort of take it a step further and put it in the VR space. Sort of have that event
put it
in VR. Put it in Fortnite, 100%. Do all of that, all of it. That would be absolutely amazing.
Okay, yeah, no, I feel that. I don't know. How do you feel, Joel? You've gone silent.
Lost for words. Lost for words.
Yeah, he's like, I was just so stunned. Didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey was too stunned to speak.
I love how I feel like that's very common with like Pixar. Like they do a lot of research into like how things are in the real world. Like I got that from the like the hockey scenes as well, where like the way that they portrayed like how the feet were moving, how the skates were sounding and stuff like that. I feel like they must have like had so many reference things on hand for that. And I always appreciate the detail.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I have now forgotten that thought anyway, so continue.
You're crazy.
I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Yeah. And then just speaking of the characters, just how they move. We talked about ennui and see like we know sadness, joy. What did you think, like Penali, as an artist and illustrator of the character designs and just how they reflected the characters? Yeah, actually, I had nothing else on that sentence, but what did you think about the character designs?
I need to get into audiobooks because, like, I'm a bit of a traditionalist that way, where I'm like, no, it has to be on paper, but it's like, no, it doesn't. I listen to so many podcasts, and I just like leave it on. I think I'm just being a snob about it for no reason. I should definitely do it because I get through
for some, I feel like I like to turn the page for some types of books. Like I'm into fantasy, but then there's a lot where I could just listen to this.
It's also like I feel like there's different nuances you have to think about when it comes to audiobooks, because then you have to think about like who's reading them. Do they read the book well? And so it's like you can't just have any book as an audiobook. I might have to add that to my ever-growing backlog of things to read.
Please do. Ursula Le Guin, for people who don't know, Ursula Le Guin is also considered the grandparent of modern sci-fi and modern fantasy as well. But not a lot of people know who, people know who Arthur C. Clarke is, people know who Tolkien is, but Ursula Le Guin is a woman, so that probably doesn't help with her people registering her impact, but she's been around for forever, and if you don't read The Dispossessed, she's got a bunch of other books that are really, really awesome. It covers sci-fi and fantasy as well.
Nice. I'm just literally on my Goodreads to follow the author.
Goodreads is there to go, oh, what book should I buy next? And then we don't buy anything, and then we go to a bookshop and just pick up pretty covers, right? That's what I do.
Do you know what? I find Goodreads for me is more for keeping track of the ones I already have.
That's good. I like that. No duplicates in this house.
I read physical books and then listen to audiobooks and have digital books, and I lose track of like what I even own.
Oh, see, the way that I solve that is I just buy both. I buy it, so it goes on my shelf, goes on my background of my stream, goes on the background of my work meetings. If people go, oh, is that so-and-so book? I'm like, yeah, I'm a reader. What can I say? And then I read it on my phone on the toilet like a gremlin.
That's how you do it. Let me see. Is it like a first time at the gym in a while, or are you just like regular?
Yeah, I just started going again like a few days ago, so I'm just in that like early restarting kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
which is always rough.
I just started running again the other week, and like, oh boy, that like first initial like tiredness. You're like, this is exhausting. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, it really hits. Yeah.
Good news is, like the week after, you start to get like more energized from it, and you're like, oh
yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm like okay, I just have to push through it, just keep going. Like
yeah, I get that.
Also, apologies, I'm in the middle of a Call of Duty match. I'm just finishing it up. So. By the way, I've got 4 minutes left in this match, but we'll probably finish sooner because this other team is actually completely owning us. I made a mistake. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing yet, but over the weekend, I signed back up for Game Pass Ultimate for Call of Duty, and now I don't know what I was doing for so long of my life, not playing Call of Duty.
Oh wow! But you weren't going into this like, Pixar, one more strike and I'm done. Because I feel that's the sentiment I got from a lot of people.
No, not at all. I was looking forward to Inside Out too, because Inside Out, the
first one was good.
So I measured it up against its prequel rather than any other.
Tazziii, you naive soul. You should have gone on social media. You should have seen all the negative responses, and you should have taken that into the cinema with you. What were you thinking? With films such as Onward and Lightyear, and other films like Turning Red, Soul, Luca going straight to Disney Plus around the pandemic, there had been, just discussions that Pixar had lost a step. And then even Elemental, which we talked about when it first came out, it was initially considered disappointing, but it then became a slow burn, and then eventually is actually good. And it was a good show. So for both of you, maybe like Tazziii, we could start with you. Do you recognize the Pixar slump? Is that something you recognize? If so, what do you put it down to?
I was not expecting that question.
I always like to keep people on their toes.
Yeah, I completely forgot to mention the bluey. It's not bluey.
Yeah, no,
but it makes me
I don't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pouchy. Like the
Pouchy. That was actually hilarious. Actually,
no, I loved when Anger was like putting his arms.
Yes.
It was so funny. I was like,
I'm the dynamite.
That's all I've got.
So funny.
That was like because I had a whole point about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and that pushing others like Pixar, who started the whole animation has to look like this, to do different things. That was my first thought when I saw that, and that was a funny because they mixed it up.
That was great.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I can't believe we forgot that.
Yeah, there was just so much to talk about. I mean,
which is surprising because it's only 90 minutes for film, but it happens with animation. So
especially a Pixar.
Yeah,
that's what they do to us.
Pixar is our weakness.
So I messaged the studio because I felt like I was in a place where I could just to be like, hey, I'd love to make this. Are you okay with me using like trailer screenshots in like a video I'd love to do? Are you okay with me doing this? They're like, oh, yeah, just hold fire because there might be something we want to talk to you about. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I didn't hear from them for a while after that. And I didn't start making him because there wasn't enough really out to make it to a level I'd be happy with in terms of references. So it was only a few months later when I got a message being like, hey, Abby, can we organize a call at some point, like a meeting? And I was like, okay, sure. So I had a video call with one of the lovely community managers, and they basically proposed to me that we'd love to commission you to make this costume and share that process so that we can share it. So the general deal was that I make the costume, I do a full photo shoot in it for promotional material, but then I also document the whole process. So I filmed it all, I wrote articles, I took photos of it, and that was the general deal, really.
Wow. That was such an enjoyable story to listen to. Nigel, how are you doing?
We've done. I'm just putting it out there. This might be like I'm
surprised you're still breathing and you haven't just like.
I have been on mute for a while, just like turning as I bite my knuckles and. So that's the tip for this week. Let us know what you think. If it's something that you've done in your stories, drop us a email or join our Discord and chat with us there. So before we end,
I think it's amazing that you haven't used God of War as an example.
You know what? I didn't even. I think it's amazing that I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, you're healing right now.
I have to go and play some God of War. I'm slippery. You know, I went to a whole God of War talk at Gamescom as well, so I don't even know. It's always been on my mind.
Yes,
I'm not even sure. That is a glitch. That's a glitch. We're gonna fix that.
Book out doctor appointment straight away.
The film stars the voices of Anthony Gonzalez, Gael Garcia Bernal, Benjamin Bratt, Aliyah Ubak, Renee Victor, Anna Ophelia let me try that again. Anna Ophelia Mugaria. Nope, that is not how you say that name. Why is that throwing me off so much? Okay, let me give that third time's a charm. Anna Ophelia Mugaria. Yeah, we'll get into it. Tazziii, what are your impressions of this story?
Wow, not as detailed as that, but what were my impressions of this story? I should really have an answer prepared since I know this question's coming every episode.
This podcast, but also just like the brand, the value of it, just finding different stories to tell or different ways to tell the same story. And it's just nice to see. I don't even have a question of that. It's just nice to see that. But I don't know how you both felt about like the cultural side of it and what that brought to the story or to the experience of the story.
I thought it was pretty good. I think it was really interesting the fact that they had Coco out in 2017, and then soon after they had, oh my god, what was it called? The Magic House.
Oh, Encanto.
Encanto, yeah. Which also had really good music. Yeah, exactly. So maybe there's like a running theme there, but it is. Yeah, I forgot what the rest of my sentence was.
Yeah, well, I'll lead into Tazziii, and then we can then get that information from you, and then do that, and I'll edit it in seamlessly, so people will never know. So
we'll never
I
know.
could do that.
The movie magic. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Actually, how do I end this thing? Actually, Tazziii, you might just want to just pick it up. What do I say? Yeah, you just jump in. What do I say? Yeah, you go to Tazziii to find out about the guest. Tazziii, go.
I'm very much a person, like, I think I said this earlier, whether I've said it in my head or whether I said it out loud on the podcast, I don't know. I have to re-listen later. But
we'll check the tapes, yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII. So I've been catching up on Remake because like once Rebirth came out, I'm just like, man, this is the time to catch up on everything. So I sat with my friend who's like a Final Fantasy fanatic, and he was just like, we're sitting down right now and we're going to like spend all day catching up on the lore. And that's what I did. And I fell in love with it. So now I was like, okay, I caught up on Crisis Core lore and the old Final Fantasy, like 7 play out and everything like that. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm in love. And I started playing Remake, and I'm just like, I have to play it so I can catch up on Rebirth so I don't get spoiled by anything. And I've been doing a good job. Good job, not spoilers so far. And I've been loving it.
Tazziii, you still here?
Hello.
There you go. Are you back?
Nick. Yeah, it just keeps, like, sound just disappears. And Halo Infinite, the campaign for it, is such a good example of the fact that not everything has to be open world.
It feels
so
like that game has
frustrating.
really hit the. It's like Wait, let me rephrase that. This game has like diminished some of the brand value of Halo. I saw an advert on a bus for that, and it showed a guy, I assume Master Chief, but he had his helmet off, so just some guy. And the moment I saw that, I was like, I don't want to watch that. Like that's not Halo. I don't want to know who's under there.
Yeah, no.
Sounds like an instant turn off. I think for me anyway, it did the opposite of what an advert should do. It's like, now I know I don't want to watch that.
Oh God, now it's put me off trying to watch it even more. There was still some of me thinking, yeah, I'll give it a chance. I don't want to see under the helmet. No. Like, I was disappointed in The Mandalorian. And I felt like that reveal was way too soon. I was not ready for it. And I was like, keep the helmet on longer. Yes. I want my characters shrouded in mystery and emotionally distant. That's how I like them.
You're welcome, Paramount, doing that anti-marketing.
Anti-marketing.
Playing devil's advocate a bit here, but what is the problem with not being able to play old games? Because they're old games, right? Once you're done, and you move on to the next one. That feels like the trend in games. You finish the old one, you dump that, and you move on to the next one.
That's so upsetting.
Both of us just sitting here with rage.
people always want the next game. Like, when's the next game coming out? We've had this game. It's been a week. All right, that's old. Next game. But then we also don't want broken games. At least we say we want devs to be treated well. But then when there's news of like no games coming out, I feel we just had Spider-Man, just had God of War, Ragnarok, The Last of Us Part 2. These take like time to make. I don't necessarily have an issue with there being no major games coming out. Take the time you need to make them. There's a bunch of games that I need to play still, but I don't know how you feel.
I'm still catching up with games that are like 20 years old.
So, yeah.
Like,
literally.
Well,
I honestly think like a spoiled generation of games. Like, we have so many games. Go back and play an older game. Replay a game.
Literally. Back in our day, we would replay games.
No, I think maybe there's some onus on us as consumers to see something we like and be like, okay, I want to vote with my money and make sure that this thing is not lost to the sands of time. Sorry, I had to drop a video game pun in there somewhere.
See what you did there. I feel that's the kind of thing that should be celebrated in games and done in the right way. It's something we want to see more of. Is why, again, like to link Legend of Zelda, the new Legend of Zelda game.
That was a perfect pun in there, by the way. I don't know if that was intentional, but the link in that is very good. But anyway.
Oh wow, I didn't even. Oh man, I wish I could have taken credit for that. I just flew right past that. I'm gonna edit that so it looked like I did that on purpose.
And then the second thing is this sickness in our society of not being satisfied and not being able to take a moment and experience gratitude of what you have, and always chasing for something better, something shinier, something newer, and which is propelled by this consumer capitalist-led society. I'm going really deep, but
we're always going to get to capitalism. It was always going to happen.
But I can definitely imagine, and again, obviously, I wasn't in the room, but I could generally imagine the conversation going something along the lines of, "Oh, what's that shooter that made loads of money? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, is this going to be like that? Okay, yeah, let's do it." Because they see the dollar signs or the euro signs, the pound signs, and people see the news, and it's a very big way of overseeing it. So in this particular instance, the TLDR is sometimes, even if you're very passionate about a genre, it's okay to put your head down and go, you know what, the market right now isn't ready for this. Let's wait.
I created Lumica. Like, I can use my own website sometimes.
Yeah, this is really for me.
Yeah, no, it is. And sometimes it's really dangerous because I'm like, ooh, I didn't think about cosplaying that character before, but now it's on Lumica. Like, ooh, maybe I might pick it up. And I'm like, no, I have to stop myself. Like, I don't need.
You know what that is? That is classic getting high on your own supply. Like literally.
Literally.
I don't think you're supposed to do that. I watch Scarface. I know how that ends.
Yeah, I gotta be careful with it.
Yeah, be careful. I don't know, just felt something could have been done more. Was Audrey? I don't know how everyone else feel, because she was the love interest, and I like what she represented, but I don't know. I don't know. Did she need to be in it more? Is it just me? It felt undercooked.
I feel like if she was in it more, it would have just been like too much about his love story with her. I'm sorry, but no, we get it. He liked a girl on it, like, unfollowed her Instagram and flew her over. We don't really need. That's not part of the story. It's not part of his journey. Like, we don't need relationship drama in it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, just me then. Fair enough.
I like watching the showcases, but I kind of miss like the old days where you just had to wait till like E3 where all the companies would like get together and like have their big ol' announcements, because like usually when there are showcases, there are few a year, and sometimes there's only a couple titles that really pique my interest. It like almost kind of reminds me of Marvel these days. Like, do you guys remember after Endgame, we're like, wow, what a brilliant arc. Like, it'll be nice to have a break while they work on the next brilliant project. And then we got bombarded with like so much content that it was like impossible to keep up with.
It's great to see the game. Like, I'm one of the people, I do want to see a game, but I don't want to see everything about the game because it spoils it. Because at that point, I've seen everything before I've even got to play it. I'd rather see a glimpse, see this a bit here and there, maybe even a little bit of gameplay. But after that, I'm good. I don't need to continuously see the same thing. At the end of the day, it's not necessarily that it's boring, it just spoils it. Because one of the greatest things about a new game is the discovery of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I want to know that the game is going to exist, but I don't want to know the information of the like.
Yeah.
I just want a little. I love the little like. Oh, is there something? Is this games company doing something? They've just changed something. Like, yeah.
Yes. Have some mystery.
Yeah.
Keep the romance. So
I want to be wooed.
So now you're all caught up with today's. I'm going to rewind and start that again. Got like multiple. Just skip to the end.
Really boopering today.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's out. It's been a calm day as well. I don't even know what's happened.
You can blame the planets.
Oh, is it the planet's fault?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. All right. It's the planets. All right.
You can also join the Studio 77 Discord today for free and be part of the My Matter universe and meet others in the community.
So is this me? I was trying to find a Discord link. This is like, all right, forget that. How can people like take part in, picking up a copy? Let me try that again. Picking up a copy of the comic.
You need to be like way more flexible, and I see it so much, obviously, in our workshops with the showrunners, and I've been working or volunteering with young people since I was a young person. And so I've noticed a lot that there's a certain type of young person that will get very fixated on that they are just good at one thing and that they think they know everything about that one thing. And
Again,
that is going to...
Show on this. Go check it out.
That is going to be so detrimental in a world that is so rapidly changing.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be taught from, and this needs to start being taught from a primary school age. Like,
you're preaching to the choir, as in everything you're saying.
I think there's a lot of just like garbage out there right now, like garbage professional advice. but I mean, like, being a little bit more serious, like very confidently delivered advice about how to succeed. And I think one thing that it's easy to take away from that is that there is like a certain type of personality that can be successful in a competitive field, whether it's, any kind of creative work or like entrepreneurial things or whatever. And that is just not true. Like, all different kinds of personalities can succeed. You kind of just have to like find a way to do the things you have to do in a way that you're able to and speak in your own voice and things. So I would not be worried about that. Ignore the listicles is my parting advice. Ignore the listicles, ignore your parents.
Solid advice.
I guess this is a good episode to talk about like shows with age ratings.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
And I've been watching
Farley's were.
No.
It's fine. I find reasons for it.
That would be a reasonable question to ask since we're talking about Deadpool and there's like
I have met kids who watch the movie, so
yeah. I mean, we don't condone it, but parents are in charge of their own children. Also, curiosity as to why we were not at the premiere.
Yeah, that's a conversation. We need to talk.
I'm going to throw that one out there. Since we talk about Ryan Reynolds constantly on this podcast. Like, someone needs to do a count of how many times
we bring up Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. Especially when we don't need to. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there are episodes where he is not in the conversation and he still somehow comes up. I feel like more than Nigel brings up God of War because
Yeah, probably.
it's like
'Cause we're
that,
both
but from
on-
both of it. Yeah.
The whole Gambit thing is like, because it was like rumors that he was going to be Gambit and then it was stuck in development hell and then never got made. I, for one, not that I don't like Channing Tatum, but I was never having Channing Tatum as Gambit. Never have it. Never
he
having it.
loves Gambit.
And it's fine. More power to him.
Yeah.
don't mean you get to play it. So.
I don't know Gambit as a hero, but when I done my research, I was like, the costume's pretty accurate.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
Like, it was like, there is no doubt in that.
I did like seeing him in this, safe in the knowledge that meant he would never take up the Gambit role. But I did enjoy him. I did enjoy it. But because for me, and it's not even necessarily the comics, it's from the original 90s show. Like, that is just imprinted in my mind, and that just doesn't fit. It's very, very, I would say it's very personal to me, and it's a very visceral reaction because I felt like, not that I do the whole social media up for thing, but I thought I might have had to do that.
You were like, you are not my Gambit.
Yeah, hashtag not my Gambit. Like, I might have had to do that, actually.
Taking his bones and absolutely murdering people with it, I just feel like if there was a way to start the movie, and I don't think that anyone could have done better. I generally can't think of a way to say to all the purists, if people would like to be precious about Logan, or just this is how it's gonna be, and this is Deadpool, and just win those people right at the beginning of the movie, just win them back instantaneously. It's impossible to dislike. That bit was just fantastic.
I did not know that. That is a cool
It's a
detail.
good fact.
Yeah, it's great fun.
I mean, I do want to talk about like we have to talk about the cameos as well, and the
Is
like
it because it's a whole movie?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, we got warned about it very early on.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, at least everything was kind of like, by the way, all of this is going to be in the movie, and what isn't going to be in the movie is cocaine.
Yes, yeah, we're here for everything but cocaine. And she's already pregnant, so.
Oh my god!
It's like I'm kind of guess that they might have a slight affair even before, because it looks like Mahito's mom was suffering from some serious illness and then stayed in a hospital quite a long time. That's what I saw. So
I like it, drama.
Yeah, they might plan that kind of things as well.
Yeah, and then it was like wartime as well.
It's crazy time.
Very crazy time.
Who knows who's doing who in wartime?
Do you have PlayStation? Yeah, we welcomed our PS4 into the house. No, PS4. What generation are we on now? Oh my god.
Five.
We got a PS5.
She's not with PlayStation. She's with Steam.
We managed to track down a PS3. They said it could be done, but we got it last week.
I don't know if you can see the back of mine. I've got PS3, PS4, and then that's where my lineage of the PlayStation ends.
We do have a PS5 because I got it intentionally for Final Fantasy 16. But obviously, by what I've just said, I don't play it very often.
Where we are now, do you see a particular strategy working well or not working? Like who in this console war, if this still is a thing, who do you see as coming out on top? Who's doing well?
Nintendo.
Yeah, at the moment it's Nintendo. Like they seem to be skating by. They're just like they don't care what's going on. They're like, yeah, we're making money off the Switch still. Let's release a clock. Let's open a museum. Let's open a theme park. Let's do all these things because like the Nintendo brand, as much as I love Sony and I have a partial like for Xbox, I guess. Nintendo seems like it's more than just a video game company at this point.
I can't remember what the first difficulty point was, and then I got to the last. It's the last actual boss fight, and then I tried it. I must have spent about 4 hours, in total, because there was a couple of sessions off stream and a couple of sessions on stream, so it might have even been more than 4 hours. And recently, literally the other day, I was like, I'm gonna just hop on it, see how I do. I managed to beat it, and then I was like, oh my god, I finished the game. All this time, I was literally right at the end of the game.
Oh, I honestly, I did the exact same thing with like Final Fantasy VIII back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
I quit that game just before the ending, not realizing that the ending was like 2 minutes away. It's ridiculous.
I seem to do it all the time. Like,
There's a life lesson in there somewhere.
I was just gonna say, like, just persevere, take your break, but don't take that long of a break.
As I was listening to you and just reflecting on the film and the characters, I think the sacrifice is just a byproduct of what they're trying to do or what they're holding on to. Let me say it that way. So, in other words, I'm going to be the best jazz player. I'm going to practice. I'm going to travel to Japan. Even if I don't have anywhere to stay, I'm going to play, and practice out in the cold and the rain. The sacrifice isn't even a question. At least that's the way I kind of saw it play out. Because one thing about sacrifice, well, yeah, it's not even that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it goes almost like a level deeper. It's not a consideration. You're just doing the things.
Right.
That's the kind of way I saw it. Because normally when you think about this idea of sacrifice, you're giving something up in order to get something. Which is true. But I never quite got the sense that they felt like they were giving anything up.
yes, that's such a good point, because they're not they're not like struggling with the conflict of like, oh, to have this, I need to give this to get this. They're not exchanging anything. The quote unquote sacrifice is more like a side effect.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you take some medicine, you don't go, I'm sacrificing this thing. You're like, oh, this is a side, in exchange for my health. You're saying this is a side effect of me taking.
Yeah. Is it even a side effect? Because it's like, and it goes back to that quote, the obstacle is the way. It is, and I've also not read the book yet. I'm sure I'll get to it at some point, but I've heard him talk about that enough times where it's something I'm working on, because it's something I've definitely found challenging. But the idea, like, the obstacle is the way. So it's just from these characters' minds, it's not even a side of it. It's all the journey. It's all, this is what we're doing, and it's not like a decision like, oh, we're gonna do this to get this, or this is what we do. and when you look at it like that, and it's why one of the things I just took away, and I'll just like sit within this film until it fully sinks in, is like, it's just the journey. We enjoy every moment, and that's what I got from Die. It's just, I enjoy every moment on this journey. It's almost like, because for him, another moment that stood out is where they're in the jazz room and they ask how many people, or you get the view of the room and there's like hardly anyone there. And there's a bit of a spoiler alert, because that was actually I've got a similar thing like that in Against All Odds. But so that moment, and for him, I think he saw the people and he's like, oh, it's great because some people are there. So for him, it wasn't like there needs to be 60 people, otherwise I'm not doing it, or this sucks because I want this many. It's just people are here to listen to us. We're a jazz band, and that's another step. And it reminds me of this thing I've heard a couple of times where it's almost like, if you imagine like going on a journey, you go and taking a flight and getting to the airport and complaining that you're not at the destination. Like, imagine that. It's like you get to the airport, you check in, and you start complaining that you're not at a destination, or you get on the plane and before it takes off, you start complaining that, why aren't we here yet? And then
people are like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but when this part when I'm at check-in is part of the journey to get to where this part when I'm on the plane is part of the journey to get. So why complain? And this is what these three remind me of, or especially Die, who's just like, every moment is part of the journey and I enjoy every moment.
Yeah, enjoying it. It's like, oh my God. Because as you're saying this, like, everything's like falling into place, and like, just, I'm being reminded so much of like early on in my journey, which is funny because you've mentioned there's a moment like that in the manga, and I'm wondering if that was inspired by something that I said.
It's actually a very real thing that happened to me, but it's
and like, because when I started streaming, there was a comment.
We got that too. Don't worry. Yeah, or maybe a question, because since Lau is the person that is responsible for starting this, maybe a question of like, Lau, did you think this it would make it this far, and you'd have nothing to do with it?
Was this my idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't remember?
No.
Okay, I'll ask that question, and I'll add in. I will add you.
Wow, that's mad. I think I'm just like one of these guys that like just comes up with ideas.
Yeah, you are.
It's actually kind of dangerous, to be honest, in the wrong places, because then you just end up with loads of stuff. Yeah, but I guess very quickly I would just say it's quite humbling, to be honest, to be a part of something and then have it really grow and continue. But I just enjoy starting things that are cool, and really, the main props goes to yourselves. You've kind of held this thing down, really. Let's keep it raw. So it's really great to be able to pop in and just say, hey, great work. I didn't do anything, but yeah, it's been really cool. It's been really cool. I really enjoyed just seeing like this thing continue, and also the YouTube as well. So yeah, and I think that what they say apparently is that if you get to 20 episodes, you're good, from what I've been told. So
all right, well,
you've kind of exactly. Yeah. So I think you've done pretty well. In terms of like,
might have still been recorded on Skype.
Oh my god, we used to record on Skype. What were we thinking?
I
didn't know any better.
Very happy when you finally listened to me.
Yes. Yeah. Like my geography teacher said, Nigel takes a while sometimes, but he does good work, or something to that effect. Mr. Woodcock, parent even. Anyway, it isn't about me, or maybe we'll talk about it later. Yeah, very good film. Definitely like resonated on like multiple levels for me, and just something that I'll come back to, and there we go. It's like I've forgotten how to do this after 200 episodes, but that was our discussion. So yeah, anyway, that's my maybe overly deep take from a story from 2016, but that's just where my mind is at the moment. Yeah, anything else we missed? Anything that anyone wants to shout out that we, maybe a scene or a moment that we haven't covered, or we got it all? I think we got it. Yeah, okay. And our website with links to subscribe is mymatter.com/storyx. Wait, did that sound? Let me do that again.
Storyx.
Did I? Yeah, okay. I was like, I'm sure I did that in the wrong order.
Did we rebrand?
Yes, we're putting the X at the end. I don't know. We're trying to get rid of the X. We just all X's are just like being pushed out. Anyway, please go ahead.
Awesome. We'll add those to the show notes. Sorry, my voice is going.
Okay. Good place to end it.
That was a good episode. Sometimes I forget how much I love games until I start talking about them, and then I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, video games. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. As for the podcast, we release new episodes on Thursdays, and they include creator interviews, video game discussions, and deep dives into stories across pop culture. You can always give us a shout directly. Our email address is studio77@mymatter.com, and our website with links to subscribe is mymatter.com/storyxstory. So thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe, and remember, don't give all your gaming news away at once. Tease us, keep the mystery, and maybe we'll press X to put a ring on it. So take care, everyone.
Nigel.
So good. Press X to put a ring on it. I'm using that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something anyway. But
I feel like you need to do a thing like just of your podcast ending one-liners.
Literally putting that in my bio. So thank you.
You can have it. I give them away for free every episode.
Oh
good. I might have to put a ring on it. I might have to put that in my date and Instagram bio.
Right?
Thank you for letting me on here again.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's easier when the guests invite themselves, to be honest. So
Okay.
you make
So
my
if I
job
ramble
easier.
too much at times, words are
That's
difficult.
cool. That's what editing is for.
Fix it in post.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we don't do a live recording show.
Yeah, we don't need to do live.
Those are special occasions only.
Yeah.
No, you guys are awesome. I
Yeah.
love the professionalism. I love the structure. You guys are on your stuff, brother.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I
Thank you.
admire it. Yeah, thank you for just being patient with me and considerate and, opening up your world to mine and, doing God's work into representing different people, cultures, and bringing a lot of people into the anime world and appreciating art and things like that. So thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for existing,
Thank you,
guys.
and for that, you will get to come back again. That's how you do it.
Thank you so much again for having me. I always love being on the show, so thank you so much for reaching out, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. I believe it's night for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a wonderful day.
We do creator interviews, video game discussions, and deep dives into stories across pop culture. Our email address, studio77@mymeta.com, and you can check out the website with links to subscribe. So that is us. Thank you for joining. Until next time, stay safe, and remember to keep your house full of country house farmy stuff. I'm going to go out and buy a bunch right now. So take care, everyone.
Yeah, man, that was a great ending. Very funny.
Until next time, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, and remember, the universal sign for success is now alarm clocks. So I think that means Flavor Flav wins the console war. I don't know. But anyway, take care, everyone. And remember, you can always find a solution for everything in life, except death and maybe getting help from social media tech billionaires. But everything else is cool. Take care, everyone. And remember that not everything needs to be content, except this episode, which has given us so much content that I'll be using in short order. Take care, everyone.
It's been really nice to. This is my first time sort of talking about the games industry like this as well, so it's been really nice to do that. So thank you.
And remember that acronyms are very serious business, so stick with EDI and avoid being a Jedi unless you are very strong in the legal force. Take care, everyone. Cool. That is it.
I love that you brought that back.
I was trying to end on something, just make something up during the episode. I don't know when I started doing that, but I just kept it going. And remember, if you have any problems with anything said on this podcast, send your comments to Mylea. Don't send them to me, because that's her job.
Yeah, apparently.
And until next time, stay safe, and remember that Revenge kickstarted more writing careers than school ever did. So no, stay in school, kids. Take care, everyone. We are done.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry
no,
for
thank you.
rambling on.
No, that's the idea. You, we ask you a question, you do the talking. So that is all good. And until next time, stay safe. And remember, if this episode has proved anything, it's that ideally drawing comics in school when you should be paying attention to the teacher can actually get you somewhere in life. So in your face, Miss Robinson. Take care, everyone. I actually didn't have a teacher called Miss Robinson. I didn't. And remember, if you're ever in a position where your teacher complains about your last minute, obviously patched together homework submission, just tell them it could have been worse. Take care, everyone.
That was beautiful.
But yeah, no, thanks. That's you brought a level of gravitas to that discussion. And remember, the louder you scream a name in support, the more it's probably about you. So yeah, think about the stories that you tell. Take care, everyone. That is a wrap, as they say in a film. I don't know, I've never been in a film, but
that is what they say, yeah. And everyone cheers.
Cool. There we go. So thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe, and remember, we can give communism a chance, but never cocaine. Don't forget that. Take care, everyone. Cool. We are done.
So that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
Just one-liners always get me.
Just want to highlight that I think, by mistake, I was muted on the backup recording.
Do you know the time?
I think throughout the whole thing.
Okay, well that makes that
I'm
easy.
not muted on Discord, but